2 minutes of warm-up remaining. 2 minutes of warm-up remaining. Athletes, please hold up on your warm-up. Please hold up on your warm-up. No more deliveries. I'm going to reset those pin setters to the first ball cycle. Reminder to our bowling fans that flash photography and the signing of autographs is strictly prohibited during competition. In addition, we kindly ask that you silence your cell phones to prevent any distractions to the athletes. This week, the field of play is the area at the bottom of the stairs, and this belongs to our athletes and authorized personnel only. We kindly ask that you do not enter the field of play for any reason. Also, the staff here at the National Bowling Stadium ask that you do not sit in the stairways. We need to keep those clear. PWA has an exclusive agreement with PBA and Extra Frame for the live streaming of all PWA events. Please do not live stream from your personal devices. All right, bowling fans, pick out your favorite athlete this afternoon and cheer her on. Ladies, arrows are up. You have a full set of pins. How about a great send-off for B Squad's first?
It carries.
Yes! Woo!
Yes, you can.
One time. Yes! Yes!
Not only is she back on tour, she's a champion again. The legend. Here's Shannon O'Keefe. Incredible. What a moment for Shannon O'Keefe.
Welcome back, folks, to our continuing coverage of the 2018 USBC Queens here from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Neil Williams Jr. here with you, and we'll be joined throughout the day and throughout this round by additional players and players you can look forward to talking with. Brianna Cote, Sydney Brummett scheduled to join us this afternoon. This is game 1 of 5. B squad on the burn, of course, so no re-oil. These players will be competing on essentially what A squad left them, in a sense. So if you're familiar with, of course, bowling and heard that term before, you know exactly what we mean. If you are unfamiliar, joining us for the first time, again, B squad, and we'll be bowling on the leftover oil and where it is that where the A squad played. And so tomorrow, these squads will flip. It will be B squad who will start the morning first. They will bowl on the fresh, and then the A squad, of course, will bowl on the burn tomorrow. Saturday will feature fresh oil and fresh oil for both squads. Taking a look early here, 53 and 54. We're joined by Lauren Pate, McKendree University national champion in 2017, runner-up with the squad this year in both, or I should say, national champions ITC and NCAA. Runner-up in both of those this year. Amber Gerke, Jerica Heibel, and Giselle Poss. Giselle made her first PWBA TV show at the St. Petersburg Clearwater Open last season, and had a very nice finish, 20th at the U.S. Women's Open in 2017. Got a nice young talent there on 53 and 54. Other featured pairs we'll have, if you are joining us, of course, for the first time, 51 and 52, along with 49 and 50. Trisha Reed, Karen Marcano, Trista Kims, and Rebecca Whiting over on 51 and 52. Then on 49 and 50, we'll have Adriana Perez, Elise Bolton, Sandra Gongora, and also Natasha McCray on 49 and 50. Already on this 38-foot pattern, again, this is the burn squad, but just watching a little bit of practice. Saw some players playing out, actually. Still playing the pattern in which some players elected to play them on the fresh, for example. We'll get a chance to see Karen Marcano a little bit here as well, playing there. Rebecca Whiting playing there. Also seen some players playing in and playing fourth arrow already, so it should be a good mix, I think, so far, at least through perhaps game 1 and maybe even into game 2. Your early leader after 5 games, A squad, was Cassandra Luto. Took the lead by 4 pins at plus 166 over Azaret Zetter from Mexico. At plus 162, Amy Wegner had a very nice finish, 245, 279 to her block. She shoots, to get to plus a 152 for 5. Sierra Kanemoto is 4th at plus 132. Missy Parkin is 5th at plus 125. Natalie Goodman is 6th at plus 121. Stephanie Johnson, 7th at plus 115. Carolyn Doran Ballard is 8th at plus 109. Brianna Cote is 9th at plus 108. And Stefania Colbo at plus 99 and 10th. If you're curious, 63rd, minus 68 after A squad 5 games today. Here's Jerica Heibel. Now we're crossing over. So players, again, still playing right and haven't got too far left as of yet. I should say too far left, excuse me. It's fair there from Lauren Pate. Cassandra Luto used a very nice 267 to end her block to get to plus 166. She started 207, 207, then 258, 227, 267. 4 out of her last 5 games, or 4 out of her 5 games essentially, all ended at 7. Not sure what that means, but we are in Reno. So perhaps 7 is a good number. No one else paid attention to it. I'm going to pay attention to it. Hey, like I say, $1 and a dream. That's all you need. Mentioned some tour rookies in our earlier conversations. Jordan Richard, Haley Richard, competing this week. And in this squad, there's Giselle Poss. Poss out in front early with the 3-bagger. Cassandra Gongora. Not a kind break there. So Gongora now strike 9 spare, 9 spare, and at the moment 7-10. And she is joined by Elise Bolton, Adriana Perez, and Tarsha McCray. I think this spare you can get an idea of where some other players would like to play. For example, Adriana Perez. Giving the pocket away just a little bit, but not too far inside. But so far, so good. Actually throwing a different ball than what she finished with in practice, or the majority of throwing in practice. So far, a good decision there. Strike 9 spare double for Perez. Here's Poss now with the front 3. Roll, hit it, maybe? No. 10 pin remains. Poss, whose family is here. You see mom and dad being able to watch her bowl whenever she can, or excuse me, whenever they can. Mom was out last week in Fountain Valley. This is Poss, so it's pretty cool to see when the parents can come out. So part of what we do here, you get to know not only the players, but their families as well. Well, I tell you what, so far, and you know, it's the sometimes I think we expect a burn squad to be a little bit, you know, on the higher scoring side, but I would say so far at this particular moment, a lot of strings of strikes on going here to begin game 1 on the burn. Of course, if you think about it, on a normal tour week, as we watch Amber Gerke, good shot. On a normal tour week, besides the about the 45-minute break or so, you know, we'd be still bowling and qualifying, and so you would see the consistent and I won't say traditional breakdowns, but you see the consistent breakdown and be able to follow, obviously, with one squad. So if you think about it in that sense, and this squad, and I'm sure most of them certainly watched what was going on and where a squad finished, to have an idea on what to do to begin things here in game number 5 overall, or excuse me, game 6 overall, but game 1 for B squad here. I say game 6 overall, game 6 basically of the day. Between both squads. Gongora. Good shot there from Sandra. Tarsha McCray bowled last week in Fountain Valley. here is Adriana Perez looking for 3 in a row. A light 2-pin. Gerke just threw one pretty good. How about another one? Trips of 4. So Amber now with, after the opening frame 1 open, 4-bagger. Amber from Fridley, Minnesota. A lot of good players there from the Minnesota area. Could be a great opportunity this week to, as we watch the players compete, get to see a few players we may not normally see. Watch them perhaps rise up the rankings in qualifying, and then perhaps make some things happen in an exciting fashion in a match play bracket. That all happens on Sunday. Match play begins on Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. So perhaps you'll be getting your Sunday brunch on, fresh out of your respective house of worship. Come on and join us in Bowl TV on Extra Frame for match play as it gets underway against Sunday afternoon. Spare there for Heibel, one of the coaches at Marion University in Indianapolis. Now Gerke with a 4-bagger, looking for 5 in a row as she steps up on lane 54. Nice break, but very solid fundamental game. Very simple, doesn't do much, and no, in our sport, certainly less is more in many cases. A good look at Giselle Poss. Very powerful game for Giselle. Just kind of fires right through it. That shot gets the 10 out. All-American at Vanderbilt. Back over to Gongor, looking for a double. Get our first look at Elise Bolton as well today. 7-pin goes by the wayside for Gongor, and that's an early double for her. First double of the game. Game 1 of 5 here in our B squad. Elise Bolton now. Let's see where Elise is elected to play here to start. Nice shot there. Gave the brief impression that maybe, just maybe, wasn't sure what was going to happen there. But talked to some players in between squads and talked about if you leak it right early, I've seen a lot of 2-pin type combinations and washouts, and that some players also said particular pairs, particular lanes, you could do that, but then they'd be hooked. And so you could essentially throw it out the window accidentally and get the best break in the world. So we'll keep an eye on that. Deandra Asmady with the front 6 here in game 1. Deandra trying to go back-to-back days with 300 games. She shot 300 yesterday, the USBC Women's Championships, along with Lindsey Boomershine. Keep an eye on Deandra. good players across both squads, of course. Each squad with perhaps different characteristics. He's trying to figure out player styles and how they elect to play. Front seven for Deandra. Just as I say it, you know who. It's on the prowl. J-Mac is about to do a little work here as we watch Jerica Heibel. Here, Marcano.
It carries.
Fair four-bagger.
Yes!
Woo! Trying to get back on it here. Marcano.
Yes, she can.
And excels. And right back on it.
Yes! Yes!
Get a chance to see Trisha Reed.
Not only is she back on tour, she's a champion again. The legend.
Big match played in 2015.
Here's Shannon O'Keefe. Incredible. What a moment for Shannon O'Keefe.
If you recall, Trisha Reed finished second to Kim Terrell Kearney back in 2008 at the U.S. Women's Open. Haas. To her right is Sandra Andersson from Sweden. She finished second at Queens in 2016. Haas again, 3-bagger, 9-spirit, 3-bagger. How about 4? Yes. Trying to get off to a good start. We saw a couple of let's see, we saw 279, 289. Saw 290 from Amber Vega earlier today. Update on Deandra. 9 count in the 8th frame. Made the spare, and her run at early perfection here is complete. Lauren Pate. Lauren has gotten together. Nice late kick on the 10. This will be a 5-bagger for Lauren. Here's Rebecca Whiting from Australia.
It carries.
Yes!
So far in the stadium as well. And helping her squad take over the Diamond Team League USBC Women's Championships. Poss looking for 5 in a row. Nice. Didn't like it. It was right. And perhaps some area on the lanes for some players at the moment. Better take advantage of it while they can.
It carries.
Yes! Woo!
Yes, you can.
Technical.com.
One time. Yes! Yes!
WBA.com.
Not only is she back on tour, she's a champion again.
The above. Live scoring also available this week if you are just joining us. That link also listed in the above for aforementioned places. Jerica trying to get comfortable here. Sometimes 310s don't help you do that.
It carries.
Yes! Woo!
Marcano. Karen has just been so good throughout her career internationally. Has been one of Venezuela's best. And I would imagine, and I don't know, of course, the Venezuelan history in regards to the sport of bowling, but I'd have to guess she would be in the top 2 to 3 conversation of best bowlers from Venezuela, period.
It carries.
Yes! Woo!
Yes, you can.
I could see the potential of an early game 1 279 or a couple. As Beatty did strike in the 9th, so her 279 opportunity still available. Toss. High flush, it goes. Zell right now making them look pretty cool. 223 for Lauren Payne. Five games per squad each day. So we get to 15 games, 3 rounds, of course, 3 days. 2 squads each day. Shot there from Amber. Looking for one more here in the 10th frame. Working on a 6-bagger. She'll be in the 270s with it. Bang! What a shot there. Seen a few events now from Zell Poss, and she is a player who, if she's got a little area, she can strike for days. So. Obviously, don't know if every pair for her will be like 53 and 54, but arguably the best start you can get off to at this point. Meanwhile, Deandra Asbeatty doing the same thing. She too. Now in the 270s with a fill shot to go. Fill shot, tried a different ball. 279, Deandra Asbeatty also. 279, 1, 2, 3 pairs away. And needless to say, we are off and running on the Bird Squad. Here at the USBC Queens 2018 edition. Your defending champion is Diana Zavyalova, who automatically gets seeded. At worst, she will be the 64th seed. At worst. Should she not make, or should her qualifying scores not advance her essentially to the match play bracket. will see Diana in a final game of qualifying today. She'll be on 53 and 54. She'll be trying to get obviously a good look, see what works, what doesn't throughout her 15 games of qualifying.
It carries.
Yes! Woo!
Few splits and some late carrying.
Yes, you can. Not only is she back on tour, she's a champion again. The legend.
A little bit better.
Here's Shannon O'Keefe. Incredible. What a moment for Shannon O'Keefe.
203, Verity Crawley, 244. Annie Thorell, 203. Sandra Anderson, 224. Brandy Branca shot 226. Damiana Ayala, 235. Well, in her first event of the season and maybe only. She looks to finish up her master's degree. Dena Buxton from Australia, 213. Julia Bond, 242. Bond also very good last couple of days at the Women's Championships. Taking the all events lead in the Diamond Division. All right, just like that, game one is complete. Coming up next on our featured pairs, 49 and 50, we'll have Brandy Branca, Christina Kinney, Nicole Bauer, and Daria Payo. On 51 and 52, Mariana Ayala, Tracy Ball, Dena Buxton, and Julia Bond, everyone I just mentioned. And on 53 and 54, Shannon Lubinsky, Tina Balser, Brittany Himmelreich, that was A squad. We'll have Jessica Malott, Brianna Zabrick, Anna Anderson, and Pamela Alvarez. All right, we'll take a short break. We'll come back, and Game 2 will be underway, folks. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the USBC Queens live coverage from the National Bowling Stadium. Bowl TV on Extra Frame. All right, folks, welcome back. Game 2 underway. Mentioned that we would have guests throughout, which is good because it always helps to have a guest every now and then. And today, or I should say this round, right now we're joined by Brianna Cote.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Emil?
I'm well. I
Good.
am well. You bowled this morning,
I did.
so we'll kind of start with that.
Okay.
How did your bowling go?
My bowling.
You were up there in the standings.
I was, yeah. My bowling went well today. Started out pretty strong. Started actually down here on the high end. Made my way left. Never had to make a turn, which was nice. That first block. So it kind of stayed a little bit to the right. Had a little bit of belly. I couldn't really be right on top of it, otherwise it'd be a little too sharp off the spot. Got to 108 over. Didn't execute on some spares, which, that's my plan for tomorrow is better spare shooting. Other than that, I'm happy with day 1.
Still pretty solid, huh?
Yeah, like I said, I can't complain. But there's things I can work on. But I'm taking it away that I had a pretty good day and see what tomorrow brings.
We had Shannon O'Keefe on earlier this morning, and we talked about managing your time because there's actually some downtime right at the Queens.
Yeah, definitely.
But not necessarily in that regard, but what do you take away? Basically, you have your takeaways, I should say, from today. Is that how do you kind of manage the rest of the week after you get done? So to speak?
I mean, if you're in the, A squad, for example, if you bowl in the morning, you bowl your games, you go have a nice lunch, maybe come back, watch the burn, see kind of what's going on. This squad seems to maybe have, different variety of players than my squad. They look like they have a little bit higher rev rate on this squad, just by what I've seen so far. And just see kind of what the lanes are doing. The most information you can take is going to help you down the road. And then, go back to the hotel later this evening, have a nice dinner, and just kind of relax. Don't try to overdo it. I know it's only 5 games, and I know it's not our 16 games of like Fridays usually are. But, still can get mentally exhausted when you're trying to put up a number to get into that 63 for match play.
Right now we're watching 49 and 50.
So we have Brandy Branca making her 2018 tour debut. She's been out doing some Maryville things and some wedding things for some friends. So glad to see her back out here. And also Josie Barnes, Christina Kinney, and Kirsten Foster. So got some good ones over here. Kind of seeing where they are.
This is game 2 of 5. Again, B squad here. Good shot there from Brandy Branca.
Brandy's pretty far inside. I didn't see a whole lot of that during our squad, but again, the lanes could have changed within the last hour and a half. But still see a couple folks right.
Yeah, it's a very good mix, at least in game 1.
And the pattern, I think, is allowing for that. Josie's also playing a little bit more in. Probably more of her strength on that respect. But I think the pattern is allowing, you to play straight outside, also to kind of migrate a little bit in. So you can have that variety. We'll see what tomorrow brings when this squad bowls on fresh, and then we come in after that, seeing how majority of this squad looks to be a little bit further left, if we're going to have to start further left than where we finished today. And I'm not saying left like, 4th and 5th arrow. I'm saying left like 2nd and 3rd arrow. So don't think I'm saying we're going to jump, like we're playing something drastic.
38 feet the distance this week. And, practice session can be practice, and especially this week, a lot of players, of course, within your respective sessions and squads, but did it play? Was it similar to what you saw, or did you kind of keep the same game plan, so to speak?
Yeah, my game plan was the same. What I saw in practice session, the back ends were a little bit crisper. They were a little bit more off the spot during practice session. Today they were a little calmer. So I was able to just let the ball roll more and not really worry about it jumping through the head pin, so to speak. But still kept it simple. I had my progression of bowling balls, and if I saw that I needed to to get out of the ball, I did. Luckily, I didn't have to change balls until the last game, but just stuck with the game plan, and I was just hoping I didn't see anything super funky today.
I know you've been bowling pretty well, I would say, in my opinion, the first couple weeks out on tour. But and last year, we talked about, you went through a few changes.
Yes.
You had dropped ball weight
Yes.
the middle of last season, and then, started to have some better events and having a little bit more success. Then you make a change from the staff or equipment perspective in the off season. So how's all of that kind of rolled into what's happening now?
With anything, my personal opinion as far as the staff change, we're all great bowlers. We should be able to strike with a rock. So
That's a fair point.
It is, and that's just my personal opinion. So, staff change has been great. My previous staff was great too. So, but me personally, I think I dedicated myself more on the mental perspective of the game this year. Last year, I was not at all what I wanted. I did not bowl well. Dropped in weight to try to get myself physically to match up better with the lane conditions, and it did help. I finished the season well at the U.S. Open. I was very pleased with that. But then I just told myself, I'm still going to put in the hard work at the practice. But, if bad shots happen, and they do, you need to let them go and just regroup mentally better. And that was my goal for this year was, you have bad games, you just shake them off and start over.
Watching 51 and 52. Liana Ayala. Shout out to Roger Nordic back at the office.
They are newlyweds, aren't they?
Newlyweds indeed.
Congratulations to them.
I did not know she was bowling until yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't know she was bowling either until I saw a picture of her and Steph.
Well, there you go.
There you go. All right, Mariana's bowling this week. Awesome. We also have Tracy Ball, Kristen Leong, and Taylor Boltice. Pretty good pair here. Tracy's actually used to be from my hometown in Tucson. Speaking of Tucson, we have a home stop next year.
I told you. Did not tell you, Jason Thomas.
I'm so excited. I get to sleep in my own bed. I can't tell you how excited I am. I've been trying to get a stop there for 2 years, and I'm so excited we get to come to Arizona. It's going to be hot, guys. I'm sorry, but
yeah, I'm not looking for that.
But we know how to use air conditioning really well.
That's
so.
Good.
I'm really excited for that. You guys have no idea.
Rihanna is referring to the 2019 schedule.
It was released today.
I went over it earlier, and I said when I got to the Tucson stop, I said there's at least one person that I know is thrilled about where we're going there. And sure enough, without even setting you up at all, you just went right to it.
I couldn't help it. I was so excited, and I went to Neil. Said, it's a possibility. I was like, what can I do? What do you need from me? I will be there every step of the way. So I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure that's a great stop for the bowlers, the spectators, whatever you guys need, travel recommendations, let me know. I'm here.
I will keep that in mind.
Definitely.
How far is Tucson from Red Rock?
So Red Rock is north, a little bit north of Tucson. It's about, from town, it's like 20 minutes. I basically live in a town just of houses. There's no gas station, nothing. There's a bar that opens randomly at like 11 a.m. on Sunday, which is weird. But other than that, it's just a community of houses. So it's right outside Tucson, which is great. It's a lot of military families are out there, so it's a nice little community for us.
Christy Leong, fourth frame in game 2 of 5.
Keeps up a little high. Looks like she's not too sure what happened on that shot. Back to Josie Barnes here. Oh, good break on that one. If you can break up some splits, that'll definitely help your score out.
First couple weeks, we see certain leaves that kind of become common at, based on what the pattern is presenting. So whether it's, wrap tins or, maybe you get a couple trip 4 breaks type of thing. Did you see anything like that, or even something that may hinder you at some point that you noticed and you said, hey, I got to stay on top of this?
Yeah,
as I move
I
on?
think here I saw a lot of shots carry that were light, kind of just mix them up. I saw some really great shots that wrap 10 really hard. As a ret, I bowled with her the game she had front 8, and she threw a phenomenal shot in the 9th frame, and it wrapped 10. You know, and she bowled a solid game, but I've seen a lot of shots where people are like, oh my gosh, I missed that right, and it comes back and just tickles the head pin and the pins go flying. So I was like, okay, well, if I can start to mix her a little bit, we'll get something going. You know, so I don't know if that's just characteristic of the stadium or what. But as far as like this pattern goes, I think if you try to open up your angles a little bit, you'll see maybe some 2/8s, even some washouts if, you know, it just doesn't get to that friction where it needs to get there. So saw a few of that today, this morning as well.
Joined by Brianna Cote, PWBA champion, won the 2016 Lexington Open.
We are going back to Kentucky this year.
We are in just about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks in Louisville, Kentucky.
That's right. I'll be bowling that Pro-Am, so sign up. Come bowl with me.
Bowl with the pros.
Right.
As Bree just mentioned, be sure to check the schedule on pwba.com. There's always Bowl with the Pro info as well. You can always call the bowling center directly. Get your entry in. What's the best part about bowling or bowling a Bowl with the Pro event, or of course a Pro-Am, as some players or fans are accustomed to hearing?
I think the best part of a Pro-Am is just meeting new people. I mean, just meeting them, and when they come to you and they're like, oh my gosh, you know, I've watched you bowl, you know, I follow you, and it warms my heart, and like, thank you, like, you know, I do my best, and I'm glad, you know, we're out here, you can watch us and enjoy it, and if we can help, you know, if they want us to give them any pointers, you know, because, you know, that's what we're there for, to give back, and we do the best we can. It's also good when we bowl good for them. So if they're trying to either win some scholarship or if they're having a bet with someone, so it's good to help them out with their score as well.
I have never bowled a Bowl with the Pro type event.
You've never?
I have never bowled.
I bowled when I wasn't the pro. Like, I bowled a Pro-Am where I bowled with Leanne Holstenberg and Kim Terrell-Kearney.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like in awe of it. And now
Sure.
I'm like, I get to bowl the Pro-Am with Leanne, and we're like both pros. And it's really cool. It was, and I remember bowling Pro-Ams, you know, with the men also when we used to have the men's tour back in Tucson. I bowled with, you know, Parker Bone and all them, and I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would be the pro. So it's pretty awesome to be that person. It'll be kind of weird being the pro at home for our home stop, but
Yeah, that's true.
I'm really looking forward to that. I really
How
am.
about that?
I'm going to tell everybody they have to bowl the Pro-Am.
Would you be like considered the kind of resident local professional?
Yeah, yes, I will be. And I think, you know, we'll also have, you know, Shannon Plowski, you know,
Sure.
being hometown from Phoenix. She'll have a good following there, too. So she's excited about it, too. To kind of go back to Arizona, and you know, there's a few other ones out here from Tucson and Phoenix, Tina Williams and Shauna Strauss, that are looking forward to being able to be close to home and have that home feel. Try to settle the nerves a little bit.
Yeah, I asked Missy last week, you know, because we were basically in her backyard.
Yeah,
she
definitely.
was the hometown favorite in Fountain Valley. She lives in Laguna Hills, about 20, 30 minutes away. About the potential of, you know, it's a pressure type situation, or do you feel more pressure when you want to perform well
For
in
your
front of-
hometown.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah, I think, you know, it's kind of both ways. You know, I'm sure, you know, this is in the future, but I'm sure that at one point, you know, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I want to, you know, make my town proud. But at the same time, you know, you're just going to have to pretend you're just in just another stop, another tournament, and just have fun and do your best, and whatever happens, happens. So, but I mean, it definitely helps when you know you're in an environment.
Right.
For sure.
Gallup now working on a double, looking for 3 in a row. 51. Just saw Jessica Malott move on 9-pin prior to that. Good shot.
Get it to fall.
7-pin remains off to the right.
Jessica
9-pin
Malott just graduating from
Yeah.
McKentry. So good to see these young ones out here.
I know it's slightly different for you, slightly obviously, because when you completed college, tour was not around. But how happy for you, or are you, not only for yourself because you still get to live this dream, but now to see the players that were you be able to kind of take the immediate step.
Oh, it's awesome. It's great because all it does is just makes our field even stronger and bigger, and it motivates us to stay on top of the game because they're coming off bowling in college, practicing hours every day, and just like I said, just pushes us to stay on top of our game. So it's great that they can come right into it and bowl and try to win titles just like myself or people a little bit older than me. I'm kind of like the middle generation, so which is fine.
So you're not a veteran yet?
I mean, I have to say I'm a veteran. This is my 4th year on tour. I know the ropes. My roommate is a rookie. My roommate is Sydney Brummett.
Who's going to join us?
She's going to be here right after me.
Next
So
hour.
I have her trained really well. See, I'm going to do extra frame, and then Sydney's going to do extra frame.
How about that?
And Sydney, she's a joy. She's a great bowler. She's a real good girl, and I'm glad that I can help show her the ropes of what to do, what not to do. This is what we do. During the pro-ams, or if you need stuff off the truck, this is how it happens. Her very first question to me was, "What do I do for pro-am?" And I said, "You show up and bowl, and you have fun."
That's the best answer.
And you have fun. And she goes, "Oh, okay, I can do that." And she's like,
and she did have fun.
and she did. She had a blast. So, and she just graduated from college, so she's on a good high right now. So you'll get to chat with her later. But she's a fun girl, and we have a good time together.
How did that roommate team up happen?
Well, we bowled. We were on Team USA together, and I actually had bowled cross with her during team trials a few years ago. And we got paired up like 3 times, and so we're like, okay. And then we made Team USA together, and we worked together at camp, and kind of just meshed well. And I said, hey, I know you're gonna go out on tour full time. I said, if you need a roommate, let me know. Because I'm either usually by myself or my husband comes with me. And she's like, okay. And she's like, well, sign me up. And I said, okay, let's do this. So it's good, to, have her guide her through her ways and stuff. So I'm sure her parents are happy with that decision too. So she's not out here like all by herself.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Fresh out of college.
Yeah,
like,
it can be overwhelming, I think. Yeah, to kind of just jump into it when you're going to cities you don't know and have to stay in hotels and find rental cars. And she's not old enough to get a car, so.
How about that?
That's my job.
See, it's the little things that
It's the little things.
you need to be aware of.
Yeah.
That's important.
It's okay.
Leon.
Looks like she changed balls. Still not getting it quite down to the part of the lane she needs to get it to. Looking around, and kind of like this morning, saw a few high scores and then saw some pairs where it didn't look very pretty. So pattern can be scoring, but also can pair to pair cause some issues down lane.
Now, I know many players have kind of said, hey, I've had some success here at the stadium. How do you feel, just in regards to your past experiences bowling at the stadium? Where are you at with that? Do you like bowling here?
I do like bowling here. It's just an environment we don't ever see very much. It's huge.
That it is.
It's got nice comfy seats too. But I just love it. It's a National Bowling Stadium. Like, who doesn't want to bowl here at least once in their life? So, and whether bowling goes my way or not my way, I enjoy bowling here. I wish there was more places like this, just because it's so open and just fun. It just has that that feel of we're in a stadium. We're not just in a normal bowling center.
Certainly the high ceilings and
Yeah.
the stadium arena type obviously feel
definitely.
to it, which
With the well, the coolest thing I think is when you sit up like in the high seats up there, and if you just get far enough, you can see the bowling ball disappear because you can't see the pins. It's like then you start to guess. Well, I wonder what they left.
see again the little things.
It's the little things. I know. I find the weird things.
Appreciation, but I think that's important.
Yeah.
You try to do that like every stop you go to, like not necessarily as we talked last week about what you try to see when you go to a stop, but like just taking away little pieces of something that maybe if you go back to that area that just said, man, that was actually really cool. Something that wasn't on the radar initially,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It just
It's come to Reno. There's the National Bowling Stadium. There's a museum downstairs, and go to Circus and play games.
that's the second time I've heard that today.
I used to come here as a kid when my parents used to bowl. Back then it was the ABCs.
Sure.
I would be in that game room for hours because that's all I could do. So now I'm like, well, I'm an adult. I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, it's cool, but I don't know if it's as cool as I thought it was when I was a little kid. But at the same time, they still have the shows and everything, and it's good to just see that they still have that, from my childhood. That's weird to say. I don't like saying childhood.
Well, Bree.
We get older, I know.
Yeah, there's this thing that happens.
Time.
Yeah, it just kind of flies on by.
It's not fun.
Sometimes it is not.
No, but that's okay. I just got a message that Mandy Edom has front 8 on lane 21. Mandy Edom is from Phoenix.
Well, the real question is...
Just saying.
Is Jason...
So if you're on live scoring, because anybody, and you want to check it out to see if it gets finished, head on over there to check out Mandy Edom. So she actually just had a phenomenal showing at our Arizona Women's State Tournament. She bowled her very first 300, and then about a week later, she bowled another 300.
What lane did you say?
Looks like, I think it was 21. And Nicole Wilson has front 9 on lane 23.
Uh-oh.
Whoa. Look what I just caused. We're going to have some guys running around here now. My bad, guys. So, tune into that live scoring, and I think Emil brought it up for us to... Oh.
Well, Nicole Wilson, 9 count, first shot in the 10th.
Yes, I believe it was a 7 pin. I'm getting my up-to-date text from my best friend.
Looks like, as we thought, the staff is on top of it.
Good.
But we appreciate that, though.
Definitely. That's why I'm here. I told you. I keep telling you every week, I'm here for you, Emil, whatever you need.
It's true. I appreciate that.
Definitely. You work hard every week, so...
Your segment was great, by the way. We appreciate
oh, it was fun. I enjoyed doing it.
you joining us last week on the Road.
That was fun. Josie here is working on a 4-bagger. Are we on Josie here?
Yes, we are.
Perfect.
49 and 50.
So, let's see. Oh, it looks in a little. All right, out of trouble. Josie had a good showing last week. She cut her finger, which I'm going through the same thing. But she said it's healing well. I talked to her earlier today. So she's been bowling well also.
Yeah, she was about a game away last week.
Yep, she was. She gave it a run. And you know what? That's what she does. She gives it a run, and she gives 110% all the time. So.
Carry there from Branka. Brandy 184, as you mentioned earlier, her first event of the year.
That's right. Yeah.
It has been a wedding central
she's been
Brandy's
busy.
circle.
She's been busy. I said, when are you coming out here? I'll be there at Queens. Okay. looking around here. Did Mandy? Oh, look at Shannon. 29, 30. Oh, I'm sorry. She's got 270 going. I don't know about Mandy. Did she finish it? 278, I believe.
278.
Yeah. Well, still great games down there. Still some great games.
That is the third 270 of this squad.
Yeah, I saw one. I think
That
it was
we know of.
Deandra.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw Deandra with
And
that.
Giselle Poss.
Giselle Poss.
Both 279.
That's not a bad start.
Speaking of scores, let's take a look at those.
Let's see what's going on.
Go down to B squad. We talked about Poss and Asbeatty both getting off to great starts at 279. Danielle McEwen shot 256 in game one, along with Kaizo Wegner from Sweden.
Yes. The Swedish girls came back this week.
They did. Victoria Johansson is here this week as well, 248. Sarah Willie, Christy Leong, and Anna Anderson all shot 245. Verity Crawley, Tanya Lopez shot 244. Pamela Alvarez shot 243. Diana Zadgalova and Julia Bond shot 242. Wow. Tina Williams, 240. Rocio shot 239. Kelly Kulik and Jackie Carbonetto shot 237.
Yeah, there's some good scores out there, and it's possible. Like I said, you'll see some pairs where they don't look very nice, but if you get matched up with the right ball motion and everything, you can score. And so I think we'll see. It's usually expected you'll see a little bit higher scores on the burn squads. So we'll see what plays out through these 5 games. But definitely a strong start for B squad.
This is not an odd question, but I guess it depends on the pattern maybe. But do you have a preference?
So, fun fact. This is the first time Bowling Queens that I'm actually on A squad. I've been on B squad forever.
Okay.
So, new outlook, which I'm like, alright, I can do that. I dig it. I prefer fresh.
Okay.
I think. Being a little bit straighter, I like to keep angles more in front of me. I like fresher conditions, but we all have to get out of our comfort zone at some point. So that doesn't mean, the burn squad can't be your highest set if, you prefer the fresh or something like that. But I tend to like the fresher conditions. Which we will all be on fresh the 3rd day. So.
Yes, and that will be the moving day for most.
Yeah, that'll be the key, the score, I guess, calculator on where the scores are going to go, because you're going to see a lot of fluctuation, I think, today and tomorrow with the burn squads, and then the last day you'll see what kind of happens with everybody bowling on fresh.
Just Milan shot 201. Leah Robles, who was also on 53 and 54, shot 227. Brianna Z out to finish up. She'll be in the 230s.
Get her into the plus number.
She had a pretty good day at the women's championship.
Yes, I bowled next to her for doubles and singles. She bowled well.
Heard you bowled well too.
I bowled decent. Yeah, I was happy with it. Get more, get some more practice in and bowl with friends from college, teammates from college. So had a great time. And when I bowl with them, I just want to bowl with them because it's like a reunion. And if I bowl well, I bowl well. If not, I get to bowl with my best friends.
Is it like do you get a chance to just kind of like breathe in a sense where like there's titles on the line and there's certainly opportunities to win.
Definitely.
But is it just there's less of the kind of every shot, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm more relaxed just because I'm comfortable with who I'm bowling with.
Right?
Yeah, and it's, with them, it's not really about the score. I mean, definitely, I still want to win. I would love to win an event at the Women's Championships sometime in my career. But I also know that you can't make things happen. So just kind of let them happen and have fun. And like I said, if you bowl phenomenal, it's bonus. If not, use it as a learning experience and practice for the Queens, get comfortable in the stadium. Again, and that was my 2 cents out of it.
Ayala shot 217. You see Boltais set to finish up here. Spare will give her 187. And Tracy Ball already with one in the 10th. And 2 shots to go here.
Looking around, there's some mediocre scores, some not so high scores. I'm not seeing as many high scores down here as I did when I walked over here. Let's see if I can look. Daria Kovalova, 240. Good. Let's see here.
Adriana Perez shot 259.
Deandra shot 235 on top of her 279. Not bad, Deandra, who also shot 300 at the Women's Championships.
Yeah, it's been a couple good days for D so far.
That's awesome.
She is a past champion, of course, so kind of good vibes early for D here.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we're all done on 51 and 52, and we'll welcome you inside the booth. Emil Williams Jr., Brianna Cote, not looking at the camera.
Hi! I don't know where it was. I was looking over here.
Yeah, I kind of set you up for that one, so yeah, it was an opportunity, and I took it. But that is Brianna Cote, 2016 Lexington Open champion. Appreciate her joining us. She'll be here until 3 o'clock Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern, and then as she mentioned, her tour roommate Sydney Brummett will then join us for the last hour of our coverage here today as well. And Bree, again, the 38-foot pattern, how important is it at this tournament? Because 15 games of qualifying, obviously a little different than what we're used to from a standard event perspective.
Definitely.
But, how important is it to not get ahead of yourself, or at the same time, if you do have a bad game, not kind of press and say, hey, it's less games or something.
And I'm a victim of it. If I have a bad game in a 5-game block, it's hard not to press. It really is. But again, that's just trying to be stronger mentally, get through it, make any necessary adjustments you need to, whether it's talking with the ball rep, a friend, spouse, whoever may be helping you, or just focus on something simple to start over with. But I mean, you really can't look too far ahead. I know it's only 15 games, so it's like, oh my gosh, there's really no games before they make this cut. But take it one day at a time, deep breaths, and let it happen.
Breathing is always important from what I've learned talking to a lot of players, of course, especially at this level. Why is that?
Just to slow the heart rate down. If you get too amped up, which I like to get amped up too, just slow the heart rate down so you can execute that shot, especially if it's a condition where you really need to be softer with the ball speed or get it to a certain point down lane. If you're always up hyped, that tends to fall into bad habits. Will creep up, whether it's grabbing it or your feet get out of control. So just breathe. I know we're on this lane courtesy thing, but at the same time, like when you're up on the approach, deep breath and go. Like that's still your time to make your best shot.
Now, last week in Fountain Valley, you're the number 1 seed.
Yes.
Fortunately, you finished runner-up at the event. But how was that event for you overall? I mean, obviously, you'd love to have won, but what did you take away from that experience last week?
Definitely winning is always the goal. Sure. My goal going into Saturday was I want to make the show. And once I was the number 1 seed, and I was like, okay, I accomplished my goal. Whatever happens is bonus. I'm going to give 110% though in this final game. Whatever happens, happens. Right. And I just looked at it as it was a great tournament. I bowled well start to finish. I really don't have anything to hang my head low about. Right. Danielle bowled great.
Yep.
If I'm going to lose to anybody, it's, she's one of the best in the world. And
the machine from what made
Robot.
Okay, robot. Right.
So, I mean, I joke with her and kid with her, but at the same time, we're good friends off the lanes, and, I was happy for her, and, it was a great week.
I mentioned, and I'll ask you this, and it'll be kind of a very poignant question.
Okay. I'm an open book.
I'll wait 1 second and reintroduce our game. What game is this?
3.
Thank you. Game 3. Right now we are watching 53 and 54. Rocio Restrepo, Sarah Willie, Kirsten Peterson, and Danielle McEwen. Aforementioned, of course, fresh off.
She must have known we were talking about
it. She had to have it. She knew she would
hear
be
us.
ready for Game 3 Your Bowl TV on Extra Frame.
Let's see where Danielle is here on the lane. She's a little, maybe a couple more left than where I was playing, but keeping it very simple. Not giving away the pocket too much, but letting the ball roll up. So, like she may have not had a great game 2, but don't you worry. The robot will come back.
She's so good at repeating shots, which
She's
is
very good, yes.
was one of the keys, I thought, to, she ran the ladder essentially last week, and that, able to repeat shots, and she had 0 open frames
definitely, that helps.
in 3 games.
That definitely helps. Yeah, clean games will definitely keep you in the game.
We'll also be joined on 51 and 52 by Laura Plazas, Tina Williams, Dasha Kovalova, and Maribel Orozco. Then on 49 and 50, Shannon Sellens, Danica Heekin, Sierra Johnson, and Stephanie Schwartz.
That's some good bowlers. Some players out here.
So into game 3, at what point early on the fresh did you kind of start to see the transition really, kind of peak in, and you knew you had to make some changes?
I saw it overall more, I would say, game 4. I saw a little bit game 3 on the pair, but I think it was just that pair. But as I got into the later parts of the squad, I started to see my ball pick up too early, so I needed to go to something that would be a little bit more responsive down lane. So that's what I went to instead. We're going to take a look here at Laura Plaza. So I think she's on 52. She did not like that one. And speaking of Danielle, starting now with a double after coming back from, looks like not a good game. Willie on 54, again just graduating from McKendree University. Team USA member as well, throwing a messenger. Very nice. You missed a messenger.
I did?
Sarah Willie throwing messengers over there.
She's earning her stripes already.
That's right. I love messengers. I love them.
She's a rookie. She can't be getting that kind of break.
Yeah, maybe she's got that beginner luck. That rookie
it's good
luck.
to have, actually,
That's right.
on the tour.
A little bit of luck does not hurt in this game, that's for sure.
It's a good crossover on 51 and 52. There's Rolo, meanwhile, on 53 currently.
Yeah, Rocio bowled well last week as well. I actually bowled next to Rocio every squad last weekend. And she bowled well. Kind of pushed me to keep bowling well. So it's good to see, when you have someone next to you bowling really well, to keep that competition kind of going between. Because we kept looking at each other like, oh no, I know we're close to each other. Keep
right.
pushing one another. So it was good. She's always a strong competitor and very, I call her spicy.
Spicy.
Spicy, just, 'cause she's very,
Yeah.
like aggressive and,
yeah,
just a Colombian vibe.
Okay. Spicy.
Spicy. It's a good spicy, though.
Oh, you're
She-
right.
She's
No,
just
it
fiery.
is.
She's just a ball of fire, and she just, it's,
like that.
she doesn't let up any shot, whether it's a first ball or a second ball. I mean, she's committed every step of the way, and that's awesome.
You're joined by Brianna Cote, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us, you're watching Game 3 of 5 of the B Squad, 2018 USBC Queens. Bill Williams Jr., Jason Thomas, Jason McHugh, and Aaron Smith here with you. Spicy.
Spicy.
I'm keeping that in the memory bank.
He's spicy.
But you mentioned something, though. You guys bowled next to each other for most of the event.
Yes.
And, a lot of times, and especially in your situation, you guys were either 1-2 for a while, vice
Yeah,
versa, around the
definitely.
top 3-4 in the number to make the show. Like, what's that vibe like sometimes when you're jockeying for position in a sense?
Yeah, I mean it's like wow, like okay, we're two of us literally right next to each other in this huge house bowling, and we're the ones at the top of the leaderboard, and when usually when you see your opponent start to struggle, all you want to do is kind of capitalize on that, and we're all bowling against each other during qualifying, and so you're trying to get as many pins as possible, but it can be overwhelming because you're fighting to stay in, you're making sure you don't drop out. It's hard to not look up at what they're doing, but the best thing you can do is not look up what they're doing, and just stay focused on your own task at hand.
Stephanie Schwartz has finished up a great collegiate career at Stephen F. Austin. Danica Heekin, also a rookie out on tour as well.
We have a lot of rookies this year, it seems like.
Yeah, this is, outside of probably, of course, 2015, 2016, where
everybody was a rookie.
In a sense, yes. But now it's, this is year 4, and now you see, the college grads coming straight from college to the tour. In a sense, so you start to kind of build, classes, if you will. Like, hey, this is the class of 2018, in a sense.
That's
they're
right.
Here.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, but that's a good thing about having this. It's going to make every year, those players striving for that Rookie of the Year, it's going to make it, interesting, and it's going to make it challenging for them, and it's going to be great to see, who's really going to rise to the top when the pressure is on.
Well, yeah, really interesting now. I mean, now that the Queens is here, because, we had heard, and that many of the players from college, the ones we've talked about, would be here, but of course you just got to make sure it works out, and that's indeed the case. And now that it's happened, with for example, Sydney missed an event last week to graduate,
She
which
did.
is very important, obviously. But so now it's kind of like not even in a sense, because she's got the early advantage because she did bowl the first couple.
She did start, and I think a lot of the NCAA girls had to wait until their rules let them, or they did actually graduate before they could bowl. So they may be a little bit behind, I guess you should say. But, being their first event as a major, and the point system is much different. You can get more points. They can easily make up that ground.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is the best event from a starting perspective.
Yeah.
And depending on what happens here, I think for the rest of the season, and, again, based on how many events each will bowl, because the award is based on points.
Correct, yes.
And so the player with the most points, of course, who is a rookie, will win the award.
That's correct.
It could come down to the last event.
It could. It's come down to the Tour Championships before
The
for
last
Player
few
of the Year.
seasons it has.
So, I mean, anything is possible. Anything can happen. So you just gotta keep doing it.
Here is Rocio. Strike 9 spare, strike 9 spare. Good lane.
Strike.
She'll take it.
Definitely. I don't care how they fall. I'll take them.
Shot there off camera from Tina Williams.
Yeah, she's bowling well.
We'll see Tina here momentarily, and obviously I know you know Tina from
Yep,
the
she's
Phoenix
my
area,
forever
right?
doubles partner at home for state. Yep. And her husband, who just gave me a smile, is my Lucy doubles partner.
So you're covered. You've got the Williams household.
Yeah, since apparently they don't bowl well together, I get to separate them and bowl with them each.
Well, let me ask you this, since you mentioned that.
Okay.
Have you and Randy bowled together at some point?
Yes, we bowl all the
Of course,
time.
Randy's her husband, by the way. folks.
Randy is my husband. He's at home working, taking care of the dogs this week. He was with me the last 3 weeks, which I'm very thankful for. But yes, we do bowl. We bowled Lucy together before. Didn't bowl so well. But if we bowl Open Championships, which we're skipping this year, just timing-wise didn't work out. But I bowl with him, so yeah, I'm not afraid to bowl with my husband. It's fine. We have a good time. We try to bowl well. Usually if one bowls well, the other bowls bad. We haven't really gone on the same page yet.
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah, one day we will. One day we will.
So extremely talented Laura Plaza's for a shot there. Here's Danielle McEwen on a 4-bagger.
That one creeped a little high up. I think she tripped out a 4-9 on that lane the last shot. So might be making a little bit of a move here. And I noticed that happened on one pair today where I was going well. I had like a nice little 4-bagger, and then the ball just jumped out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, time to make a move. And then I never saw that again. So it could just be that lane or, again, just being on the burn squad. May see that a little bit more, but just something I kind of noticed today that happened.
51 and 52 is a very cool pair as well. We've got Laura Plazas here, again, from Wichita State. Dasha Kovalova also from Wichita State.
I think they're roommates.
Yes, they are. And sneak peek or kind of a tease to Dasha Kovalova's profile video coming up. She is a cool person, and I was so looking forward to talking to her because I hadn't had that one-on-one interaction.
Yeah.
And she was really cool.
Awesome.
And so I look forward to seeing or having folks see her.
Yeah, the
her
player
video.
videos are so much fun. Like if anyone hasn't seen them, you need to go see them. Watch all of them. They're fun. You get to see our personality come out and just get to know us better. So great job on the PWA about doing that. I think it was really cool that you guys came up with that. So.
And we got a few more done, or at least shot yesterday. Of course, the real job begins when they need to be edited.
Yeah.
And so,
that's the long part, right?
Yes, and then either the gentleman to your right and or our other Jason will tackle those at some point. But you can watch them. They are on the PWA Facebook page and the videos tab. But the easiest access point is the PWA website, pwba.com, and the video gallery.
Awesome.
We've added all of those items, all of those things
perfect.
as well.
So, in between games or squads, watch some profile videos.
But so Maribel Orozco also on this pair, and I'm trying to look up where I remember her finish in regards to the World Cup. But I know she either represented Mexico at some point, but I'm really impressed with Team Mexico. Like, first it was Team Sweden, right? We don't get a chance to see, obviously, every player from who represents their country in that competition. So so it was Sweden the first couple weeks. Then last week it was Indonesia, and this week.
Yes, definitely.
And then now I've seen about 3 players that I've never seen before, all from Mexico.
Yeah, and I mean, there's great players from.
Yeah.
There's some great ones. So it's nice to see them all come out. I know with the tour being in the States, I know it's hard for them to maybe stay out for more than one stop. But it's great that an event like this, where the format is, open and, anybody can really win this event because of the format. So it's good to see all these countries send their players, and they're here. And, I'm sure the next 4 stops, I'm sure we'll have another group come in. I'm pretty sure the Malaysians are coming back the next couple of stops. So they're always forced to be reckoned with. We just said goodbye to the Singapore group after Sonoma. So, I mean, the talent around the world is just amazing. If we could all get them to come at the same time,
and I tell you,
that event would be phenomenal.
That'd be must-see
It
TV.
would be, but I get it. Timing, locations, and obviously expenses. So.
Look at the scoreboard. See what we have here
Refreshing.
after a couple of games. And we just kind of scroll on down, but just in case, 166 plus 166 is in the lead. And that was Cassandra Luto this morning. One of the players I was referencing was Azaret Zetter from Mexico.
Yes, I bowled against her when I was youth. When I bowled on Junior Team USA.
Really?
Bowled against her, and I always knew she threw it well, and man, she still throws it pretty well.
Listen.
I mean, it's just wow. I know. I bowled with her when she had front 8, and I'm shooting 201, and I'm just watching her, and I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. But
I
that's fine.
saw 2 shots, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, she throws it well. You know, yeah. And usually, Mexico, all you think is, oh, Sandra Gongora, but, she's got some pretty good teammates.
And that's the thing, which I'm so obviously happy that the tour is here for that. But in many cases, the queens would always kind of present that opportunity to see other players from other countries because everyone would come bowl the queens for the most part. And so I'm just, really, really happy. For example, kind of same thing with Indonesia. Like we knew Tanya was very good, but we hadn't seen like the rest of her team.
Yeah,
for example.
definitely.
Same thing with Sandra Gongora. We know she's been spectacular for a very long time, and now we get to see, other teammates of hers. And it's just like
it's awesome.
The world is very good.
It is. The world isn't lacking in the bowling community at all. They're really good and from all over. It's not just like centrally located in like Europe or America or South America. It's all around. Even the Australians are really good. I bowled with a couple Australians at the Women's Championships who took the lead, bowling with Shannon Pulowski. They bowled awesome. So, it's all around. The competition is really good, and that's why when the Women's World Championship just happened here or at the end of last year, it was good competition.
All right, B squad right now, Giselle Poss and Deandra Asmady. Identical scores,
Identical.
279, 235, both players.
Oh.
Plus 114.
Good start. Good starts.
The B squad players, Kelly Kulik, 237, 268, and now Kelly.
Where is she at? Oh, she's up there. I see her. She's to our far right.
Working on potential 278.
Yes.
Coming up here as well. And now, boy, let's see what else we got here. Diana Z, your defending champion, 242, 249. Dasha Kovalova has gone 236, 247, plus 83.
Yeah, Dasha is actually right in front of us.
And Verity Crawley, Alicia Current, and Sarah Willie all at plus 71. Jackie Carbonetto, Lauren Pate, all at plus 70.
Alright, so we got some good decent scores here, and we have Rocio here working on 3 in a row. She stopped her Dutch pattern.
In a good way?
In a good way. That's
Nope,
the best
there
way
it is.
to
There
mess
it
it up.
is.
It's the best way to mess it up.
Folks, be sure to click our live now post or comment that Bree about for another, what time is it?
I started early.
For another 25
Yeah, I
minutes.
was early.
That's okay.
That's fine.
If you're not early, you're late.
That's right. Rocio looking. Oh, comes up a little bit light with the 2-pin. Out of trouble there.
Also up on our social media channels, nice interview with Cassandra Luto, who took the lead again after A squad. Shot 752 in her final 3 games.
Yeah, she bowled awesome those last 3 games.
I hear the thoughts from her. The USBC Facebook page, also on PWBA channels as well. Media Day was yesterday. Here at the Queens, opportunity to get some photos taken and some videos done.
Yeah, it was fun. There were a
Nice.
couple- I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay. No, media day was fun. Did, our normal headshots, but got some action shots in and just get to look pretty for the camera and not just put your hair up. So it was fun. It was good. It's always fun to do that kind of stuff. And I know you guys had shot some videos. So I think I saw some of the videos that were being filmed for promo stuff, and they looked like they're going to be pretty good. So I'm sure they'll be out soon, so make sure you guys pay attention to those. Get some more in-depth on our personalities out here.
I'll ask you, and I asked some players yesterday, but from the media perspective and being kind of available, media friendly as a tour, why is that so important to make sure we do what we can, obviously, to connect with our fans and to have players to make sure you guys are connecting with the fans, whether it's they watch Extra Frame, whether they watch us on CBS Sports Network, social media, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I think doing media is great, and I think it's kind of necessary, I guess. Like, it's great to cover the bowlers who are bowling well, and make sure you have the coverage of, like, this person is bowling outstanding, but at the same time, just to stand back and, like, show the the world, the players, and who they are and what they're about. Maybe they have some superstitions or some quirky little things, and you guys work really hard, and I appreciate everything you guys do. You guys do a great job, bringing that to the world. So I think it's something that it's a necessity. It needs, because without you guys promoting us, if we have to promote ourselves also, but you guys help, and that's what grows the sport.
Strepo left 10 pin in the 9th frame. Update, Shannon O'Keefe front 8 on lane 19.
Check out the live scoring, seeing if she got to the 9th. She has not gone yet. So keep a lookout for that. Dasha on 52, leaving the light 4-pin there. So would you like to know something about Danielle?
Sure.
Like, or not something, but so when we were practicing before the show last week,
Okay.
she leaves a 7-10. And if any of you know Danielle, she struggles at sparing the 4-9. Just like I struggle at sparing the washout. So we always jokingly tell each other, I'll shoot your 4-9 if you shoot my washout, and vice versa. So she leaves a 7-10, and I said, Danielle, this is so much easier than a 4-9. And she spared it. And in the entire bowling center, there were like 3 of us who saw it.
Of course.
But it was perfect. It was like boom, boom. And it was just something fun. Just because she's right here, it made me think of it.
Was this like on the warm-up pair?
Yeah, it was on the warm-up pair, literally right before we were coming over to practice on the TV pair. It was just funny. We were just having fun, and I was jokingly, I was like, just spare it, and she did. And she was like, oh my gosh.
So you're saying that was the real key to winning?
I think it was. So I should have spared the 7-10, and then I would have beat her. No, it's fine. No, can't predict that. So Shannon should be up here, but can't see her. She's way, way, way down there.
Speaking of Danielle, here she is on lane 54.
She is in the 9th frame.
McEwen.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Can't look at it.
No, those are rough ones. Those are rough ones. I mean, 8s and 9s, like, some 9 pins, okay, I kind of deserve that, but 8s, oh.
Nice shot there from Dasha Kovalova.
She's been bowling well, too.
Big shot for her, first one in the 10th. I told Joel, Jason was listening earlier with Shannon, and I've developed this extreme disdain for 8 pins. Extreme.
It's just frustrating. Like there's no.
And it's really been like just the first part of the tour this season.
Yeah, I mean we're it's still kind of early. I know, first major, we have the first 3 events. We're essentially like a third of the way ish through. But 8 pins are just not fun.
That was fun though.
That was a great one.
Good shot.
Yep. Way to double in that 10th. So that's gonna get her the strike to about 120 if she fails all 3, I believe.
Update on Shannon. 9 spare in the 9th frame.
Still good run. Still good run.
Speaking of good runs, let's see, Sandra Gongora. 1 more strike in the 10. She'll be in the 260s. She's on lane 20. And the other strings of strikes that we see, Megan Zapansky.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Frank Spare 6-bagger. She's on lane 16. Sandra Anderson can get to 270 plus. She is on lane
Very
26. Nice. Yeah, I would say that some high scores.
Yeah, Kelly Kulik just finished actually with 246, putting her at 151 for the first 3.
Nice game there from Dasha.
Yeah, good fill there.
236.
It's a good game.
A row with more single pin trouble here.
Yeah.
Not an 8-pin though.
No, not an 8-pin. Definitely not.
Bree will be joining us for at least another 15 minutes or so. So if you have a question for Mrs. Cote, she can drop that. A Live Now post on Facebook. Also, I haven't actually checked our other social media channels, so there could have been questions even from
He's
earlier.
behind the 8 ball,
I apologize.
guys.
I'm bad at checking checking Twitter. I'm generally on top of it, but people often tweet me personally, and then I never check it.
And as opposed to
always checking our
the
actual
PWA.
social media
Yeah,
channels.
definitely. Yeah. Make sure you tweet the correct one.
That's important.
Definitely. So let's see. Danielle is up here on 53. Oh, that one looked like she may have either not caught it or she got a little bit right. It's kind of hard to tell from my angle. But she may give it a run. She may just get the 2. I know her brain is going 100 miles an hour right now. Great shot by Tina Williams in the side there. So 198 for Danielle. It's so weird only bowling 5 games, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's gotta be, right? I mean, it's weird for us.
It's just
we're
weird.
going to be done with work in like an hour and a half.
So you're gonna have dinner at
I
normal
have no
time?
idea what to do.
I was like, I was terrible last week. Last week I thought we were bowling much faster than we really were, but this week I was like, well, we're game 5 and like we're done after 5. It's, yeah. Catch up on some rest.
Look at a shot there from Tina.
Yep.
I met Tina in collegiate bowling. She bowled for West Texas.
Yes, she did.
A&M. One of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Yes. We have a good time together. We really do. With her little one, Brady. Brady is awesome.
Arabella Roscoe, 204. Again, Kovalova, 236. 178 for Laura Plazas. And 206 for Tina Williams.
And looks like Rocio did. Is there a score correction over there? Oh, Rocio opened with 206. And so Sarah Willie looking to strike out. I don't like these scoring things, but I think she can shoot 185.
They can be a little tricky sometimes.
Yeah. I'm already really bad at math, and they make this harder. That's alright. We have some shifting going on. Looks like Sarah's the last one to finish up in this area. And then we'll get on to the next game.
Sarah Willie, part of Team USA this year, earned her spot at team trials. Just graduated from McKendree. Game 3 coming to an end. You can hear the
It's so much quieter.
silence. Most deafening here, especially in the stadium, because it's so large. So when it's going, it's loud, and when it's not,
it's like
it's not.
Am I allowed to talk? It's like everybody around us is done. The serve relay is going to finish with 173.
Just like that, Game 3 is in the books.
It is official.
Coming up in Game 4, on 49 and 50, we'll be joined by Nicole Wilson, Nicole DePaul Miller, Sierra Johnson, and Stephanie Schwartz. If I'm reading that correctly.
That's weird, because Stephanie Schwartz
And
was
I'm
just
not.
on our pair.
And I'm not reading that correctly. Where am I looking at? Oh, Game 4.
Game
I was
4.
not looking at. No, that's right.
No,
Game
because
4?
Stephanie was just on 49 and 50.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what it says.
That is what it says. You're right. Are we in the right game?
This is coming up Game 4.
Okay.
I believe. Not Sydney Berg. Get over here. She's not going to have any extra frame time.
Well, we'll figure it out. Maybe that's just I don't know. I don't know.
So it's a surprise who's going to be on the pairs.
I'm okay with that. I like surprises. So
Who's in the area?
guys
Let's
out
see.
there, I'm a surprise party kind of person. Hey, just whatever you got for me. But Brianna Cote, Emil Williams Jr. here with you. We'll find out who will join us here momentarily.
Mystery.
It is a mystery indeed. But what's not a mystery, Bree, again, I just want to talk about. Actually, I didn't ask you the question that I wanted to ask you earlier.
Definitely. We got off track here.
Okay.
What's the question?
So last week, as you were bowling, I watched you throughout the event, and I said to me, and it's probably just me, but to me, there are certain players who can kind of fly under the radar a little bit, right?
Okay.
And I think that, and not by any fault over your own, but I think just sometimes with people, Brianna Cote, and then you just kind of, you kind of fly under the radar. But, I thought last week was just like almost like a reawakening maybe for other folks who, they know you won a title, but, maybe they say that, when people don't see people on TV sometimes,
Definitely.
they kind of forget.
Correct.
And I thought that was just an opportunity, not that you were doing it intentionally, of course, but like, hey, I'm here,
Yeah.
I'm Brianna Cote, but, to me, do you ever think about anything like that, or do you just kind of keep forward and just say,
I mean, if I said it didn't cross my mind, it would be a lie. So, and I think that's why I told myself going into Saturday, my goal is to make the show. I want to do it again. I want to get to that spot. I want to give myself the chance to win again. Whether I win or not. I was very thankful for winning my title, and I wholeheartedly did everything I could to win that title. I earned that title, and I told myself I want to make the show again, and if I can do it again, great. But just to get back into that situation again, just made me feel good. It was a good prep for this week, so I was very happy with that. So, and sometimes flying under the radar is not a terrible thing.
That's true too.
So.
That's true too. But it was one of those things where I was just thinking about it, and I go, well, if people really kind of go back and understand all the things that you've done kind of post or pre-PWBA, for example, 4-time Division I Player of the Year, which hadn't been done before in any division. You had the National High Series for women at one point, of course, as well. High Sport League average.
Yeah.
And, all
I've done
of those
a couple
things.
things.
Right. And
Yes.
so it was just like I'm just not sure if people knew that.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. I mean, like I said, I graduated college 10 years ago, so that's crazy, right?
Well,
10 years ago, and I did all these things in college. I had a great college career. It was one of the best times of my life. And I highly encourage young, female athletes to take that path if that's what they want to do.
Sure.
I had great success in that, but I think, if I didn't have that, that built me to the player I am now, even though the game has changed a lot, and my game has changed a lot, but it definitely has helped push me in the direction that I want to go with my career, and, it's a big key factor to who I am, who the bowler I am, and how competitive I am, so it's, I loved it.
I don't think people know how competitive you are. Like, you don't really show it.
Really?
I don't think so. Like, there's players where you just know, like, right, and then, you seem more even keel on the lanes, but you make a few facial expressions every now and then, but not many.
Yeah, I think, and that's going back to the whole part of not getting too amped up, especially if you have a good strain going, you don't want to, overdo it. But I just tell myself, breathe, I'm still fighting for every pin. I still want to beat everybody out here. At home, I still want to beat my husband. And I mean, everything is a competition in some way. We have, my best friend and I, we play Skippo all the time, and I kind of beat her at Skippo all the time. And she gets mad, but I'm like, I still want to win, even though it's just a fun card game.
See, this is what the people don't know.
I know.
This is why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
Skippo champion.
I love Skippo. I love Skippo. We actually had to burn a deck at Skippo because she didn't win on it anymore, and she got sad, and it was actually crumbling. It looked like it was need to be handled with gloves. And we do have a deck. She has a deck with her. It's in her purse. So.
Which best friend are we talking about?
Sarah.
Okay.
My best friend Sarah Strickland used to be Sarah Cox in college.
Sure.
And then also Tina Balser, who's bowling. We all bowled college together. I like hanging out with them because now I'm the baby of all of them. So yeah, we all get to hang out and reunite and have fun. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's always fun. I actually just saw a former teammate of mine.
Yeah.
He just popped up. Ryan Belinda.
I saw him too.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, hey, I know,
Yeah.
right? And it's cool to see people
is.
that you bowled with a long time ago and kind of grew up with, and it's just a good feeling.
I saw him. When did I see him last? Oh, he came to my wedding.
Oh. That one time you got married?
That one time. The only time. That's
the only time you need.
Absolutely.
Well, you got a good one. That's why.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do know
Denise
it too.
is a great girl. I even bowled against her in college.
One day we need to go have dinner.
Yeah, together.
Yeah, because and Tina knows her, obviously.
Yep.
You do. Josie knows her as well.
Yeah, I mean
we need to do that.
definitely.
Okay, let's put that on the schedule.
So now we know who's bowling in front of us.
We do, thankfully.
So we have Stacy Dalt on. What lane are we on? 51? Are we on?
We are starting with 53 and
53 and 54. We have Alicia Curran, Rachel Albright, Cassandra Lewis, and Sabrina Groves. So Alicia is starting off pretty good, plus 107 after 3.
To keep an eye on. That's a great shot too.
Yeah, it was a great shot. Yeah, definitely.
Alicia has been battled a few injuries.
Yeah, she has. I know she battled a lot of injuries last year. But she's making it work.
Absolutely.
We also have Shannon O'Keefe to the right of that.
Yep, over on 55 and 56. Liz Johnson also on that pair, plus 84. Liz is a two-time champion at the Queens. Kelly Kulik has won the Queens as well.
Just a few names.
Is the Queens, has that always been a particular goal of yours to win this particular tournament? Just curious.
The Queens. So, the Queens and I have a love-hate relationship. So I have a new outlook on the Queens this year. I'm just going to bowl. Whatever happens, happens. Get in the number. That's my goal. I would love to win the Queens. If anyone out here said, well, I don't really want to win, then they probably shouldn't be bowling,
Right.
We all want to win the Queens. But I personally like longer formats, more games. So my favorite tournament is the U.S. Open.
Okay.
I like, just grueling, long formats. And that's, probably why, Fridays haven't been too shabby for me on tour with the 16 games. So I like just being able to grind things out if I need to grind it out. But, again, getting out of that comfort zone, these little mini sprints that we have going on right now, and to get into that number, and then, 3 games of match play against your opponent, and then those 3 games, anything can really happen. So it's a format where anyone can win, but it's not an easy format by any means. So for me, it's probably the hardest event.
Yeah, it's funny. It is a situation where whenever someone's trying to take a picture of me, I'll always stop and
Pause. Freeze frame.
I'm just not sure if I should kind of just.
If it should be an action shot, or do we need to focus on you?
Right. Okay, a couple quick questions before we let you go.
Okay.
From James Carpenter.
Okay.
What's your favorite ball layout as it pertains to pin location?
Okay, so James, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not I don't have a favorite layout. I will tell you that I have two favorite balls on tour right now that are really working well for me. So I have my Sherlock, and I also have the Hyperself used. And I've been able to use those two balls just about every week. And I have two of each that can complement each other and get me to the next stage as the lanes progress. But as far as like a pin layout, yes, I have one pin up, pin down, but I don't have a specific drilling that I go to.
Do you prefer pin up or pin down? Generally, I mean, if you have one or the other?
Probably pin down, just being a little bit more speed dominant and not as much rev rate. Get that ball to pick up into a roll. But again, it changes a lot out here.
One more question as we watch Victoria Johansson here on 51 and 52 from Sweden.
Great shot
there.
Yeah, great shot.
She bowled well at the U.S. Women's Open last year in 2017.
And Skippo, I told you it was here. People don't believe me, it's here. It's legit here. I'll be playing when I'm done.
How about that? Maybe we can get them to sponsor something.
Maybe. I'll show you who wins on my Instagram page.
Okay. Well, be sure to check out Bree's Instagram
Check out my
page.
Instagram. I was playing last night, and I did win. So hopefully I'll win again tonight.
Stacey Dault, Nita Flack, and Tanya Lopez. See Stacey Dault here.
Stacey Dault I bowled against when I was a junior. She's from Tucson, now lives in the Phoenix area. So I've known Stacey for a while. Coming out here, not doing too bad. So great shot there, good double.
I don't remember which event it was, but I think it was last year. But she bowled one or two events, I want to say, and I thought she bowled pretty well, but I can't recall which event it was.
I think she bowled the first four last year.
Okay.
I think, just being on the West Coast.
Sure.
So, but yeah, she's doing well. She wanted to come out here and do it, so she's doing her thing. She's, minus 19, not a terrible start. You can come back from that, working on a double. So.
See Tanya Lopez. Okay, one more question. It is from Stephen Atkinson. First, he said great bowling last week. He is trying to get his average over 220. He's at 212 now.
Okay.
What would you say is the best way to combat transition and obviously keep striking?
All right. So
how do you handle transition?
Transition, if you see little key factors, if you're making great shots and then all of a sudden you may be four pinned where the ball just checks a little bit, make a move. If you throw another shot and it just doesn't read, it maybe burns out, just doesn't hook on the back end. Maybe it's reading too soon. You're not seeing that. It's hard to see the ball hook when it's really in front of you. So just find those key factors. The pins are really there to give you information. So take that with a grain of salt, and then make those spares. If you make one extra spare a game, your average will go up. Whether it's 5 pins at a time. Just make that one extra spare, and you'll see your average go up. So fight for every pin. Leave nothing on the table.
Transition's kind of weird everywhere, and it just depends on what you're bowling on. But I mean, let's say it's obviously you bowl on the toughest, some of the toughest patterns that you'll see. But let's just say it's a bowl on at league, maybe it's a traditional house type pattern. What normal transition, normal in quotations, perhaps, do you typically see? And then what's the comparison between that and what you bowl on tour, as just from a comparison?
Yeah, I mean, with a house shot, you don't really see a ton of transition. You're usually able, you're on the same pair for the 3 games. With us, we move every game, so the transition depends on who was bowling there, what kind of equipment they were using, were there higher rev players, were they lower rev players. So there's a lot more key factors when we're out here on tour as opposed to when you're at home, on the same pair, bowling league. You know who you're bowling with. You may be able to judge whether you're going to have to make a move or not a little bit easier. So just pay attention to your surroundings. For example, I try to see who's maybe ahead of me or I'm following to kind of get an idea. I know if I'm following someone like Daria Payok, she's a higher rev player, the lanes may be beat up a little bit more. So just little things like that just to pay attention to help, get through those transitions a little bit quicker.
Nicely done. Good questions, good answers. And with that, it's 3:02.
It's 3:02. I'm past my time.
And your roommate is here.
She's here.
So
I'm so proud of her for being on time.
Well, we don't know. We didn't
I
see
saw
her. Okay,
I
fair
saw
enough.
her.
All right.
I keep an eye on her.
Okay.
It's good though.
You got it
But
down.
you guys will enjoy Sydney. She's fun. She's super fun. So, but thanks for having me.
Appreciate that, Bree, and good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you.
All right, that is Brianna Cote.
Bye,
Be sure to
everybody.
watch her, of course, and everyone else. Bowl TV on Extra Frame. In just a second, we will be joined by Sydney Brummett mid-game, so we'll take a little small break, adjust, and come back and talk to a tour rookie and get her perspective on things here. Bowl TV on Extra Frame. Folks, quick and very simple transition. So from one tour champion roommate to now a tour rookie, and if I had to place any type of wager, which I don't condone, of course, but I would bet any amount of money that this young lady to my right certainly will be a champion at some point on the PWBA tour, and that is Sydney Brummett. Sid, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
First thing I'm going to say is she's Sid the Kid to me. And so if you hear me say that often, that is who I'm referring to. And so I probably will say it a lot as we continue on throughout the PWBA tour. But first and foremost, you bowled this morning. So talk a little bit about your experience so far today. And then if you've seen anything from a lane play perspective that that you look forward to perhaps when you bowl on the burn tomorrow.
Yeah, so this morning I really just wanted to keep the ball in play the best that I could. And for me, that involved drilling a new ball on the truck yesterday. A lot of my balls just wanted to make too much shape down lane on the fresh. So I ended up drilling a ball with just a special kind of layout that made it easier for me to control that transition. So I could really play the fresh closer to the friction, which essentially kept me in the pocket longer, kind of grind out those first few games. And then from there, had to ball change, made the move to the other end of the center. This is my first time in the stadium, so I was super clueless about everything when it comes to topography, but I have some awesome ball reps that helped me figure it out really quickly. Managed to shoot 202 every game and end up plus 59 for the block, so I'll take that for what it's worth. The fresh is not easy, but the burn looks a little bit more friendly.
Yeah.
Definitely more friendly. So that loosens up my swing for tomorrow. Honestly, it's nice to see, women who I throw it like or similar to, who throw the same ball company, have a lot of success out here this afternoon. So I'm really excited to bowl tomorrow. I'll be anxious to get out here and throw some good shots, hopefully strike us as much as they are.
We've had Shannon O'Keefe on, and then, of course, we just had Brianna Cote on. We talked about the time management situation, because it's kind of different. And you've bowled 2 standard events already on tour, and so you have an idea of that pace, that schedule. And then we get to the Queens, of course. And this is not you've bowled the Queens before,
Yeah,
right?
this is my 4th Queens.
Right. And so now having something to directly kind of compare it to on a weekly basis, what are you looking forward to this week to kind of just kind of manage the time? Is it obviously make sure you eat well, have lunch when you can, but the time management perspective for the week.
Yeah, so I've got some of my Wichita State teammates here with me this week. So Holly Ann is on the same squad as I am, and we spend a lot of time together. We went through our 4 years at Wichita together, so we know the in and outs of each other. She didn't have the greatest block this morning, so we sat down at lunch and just kind of tried to figure out why and what was successful for me and what could have I done better. So tomorrow we can come in, and then on the fresh the next day, what can we do better? But with the time management and eating and everything, I'm honestly the worst about it. I get really excited to bowl and just kind of anxious, and so I'm not the best at getting hungry when I should be. So I kind of have to force myself to eat. But yeah, it's not too bad. I'm learning along the way, for sure.
Learning is a key, obviously, to being out here on tour. It's early, but what's like maybe the most important thing you've learned so far through, not even through a full week here at the Queens, obviously, but through a couple of events so far?
Yeah, it's this is my first long stretch of time without my parents here or my coach from back home. None of the 3 of them are with me. And so that first event in Las Vegas was kind of just a shell shock for me because I was alone, and when you bowl bad and you're alone, it feels like the world is ending to some extent. So I really had to figure out how to manage that. And bowling decent that first event meant a lot to me because I genuinely, was there by myself. And I mean, I had Bree, but she's also bowling.
Sure.
So she's kind of learning. So for me, it's really just figuring out how to help myself, be my own teammate. What do I need to hear in the moments that are rough? Like earlier today, had some bad ball reaction when I came down to the higher end of the center and really just had to kind of talk myself through. I opened the first 2 frames and then got in the right ball, finally moved a little bit back to the right, threw it a little firmer, and I was like, oh, okay, the world is fine again. And had to kind of talk myself through it and know that I was close. I was 1 move away from being lined up. So I've really had to learn how to be my own teammate, especially coming from Wichita State, where I'm constantly surrounded by anywhere between 7 and 9 girls that are just ready to tell me it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. Where now it's more, I have to do that to myself.
Very important info right there. And that's a very good keys early. Joined by Sydney Brummett. If you're just joining us, or maybe you took a quick break and you started this game 4 with us with Brianna Cote, well, we made a switch. We had a call to the bullpen. We brought in the righty, and or the rookie, actually, I should say.
True.
And Sydney Brummett is joining us here. And there is Sydney Brummett. That's our camera right there.
Hello.
All right, that's it. So you'll see a lot more of her. I guarantee you that for the rest of the season and on tour. We are joined 51, 52, 49, 50, 53, 54 as well are our lanes. And Sid, just we talked about the lane play situation, but and the learning aspects of it as well. But the tour life, kind of the hashtag, if you will. Bree mentioned that from even down to the rental car, because you're not old enough to rent a car. Like,
No.
I mean, how many things have you had to think about that or things that maybe you would normally do or someone did at some point, but now it's it's up to you. You got to make sure you take care of this, make sure you take care of that. You're responsible, for yourself.
Yeah. Like, I forgot my water bottle the first week. Like, normally my mom would be like, hey, you gotta remember that. So I have a list now
Okay.
of the things that I need to remember that are really important for me to survive, basically,
Right.
tour life. Yeah, Bree kind of helps me. I ask her rookie questions a lot. Like the first week, I didn't know what to do for the Pro-Am.
Right. She said
Oh
that.
yeah, I had no idea. I was very clueless. So what do I have to do? So that was
Bowl.
interesting. Yes, bowl. And I love Pro-Ams. Actually, Like, I love them. They're so much fun. I met this little girl named Kaya last week, and or 2 weeks ago, I should say, in Sonoma, and she gave me this really cool magnet that I have on my phone, and she was just like, "Are you gonna keep it forever?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep this forever. I'm gonna put it on my fridge."
Can we show the magnet?
Oh yeah, it's on my phone case. I don't know if you can see it.
A little bit.
But it's an owl, and it says her name on it. And
How
she
about
was
that?
the cutest little bowler. It was awesome.
See, it's those type of those items, those connections that you make. I mean, she's going to be a fan of yours, for literally the rest of your life, honestly.
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
Did you bowl many Pro-Ams, or have you ever bowled a Pro-Am prior to competing, obviously, or I should say being the pro in the Pro-Am last week or 2 weeks ago?
I bowled some of the PBA Pro-Ams because
Okay.
when I was younger, the PWBA tour had already folded. So I was unfortunate to not be able to bowl any of those, but I bowled one of the men's ones. I remember bowling with Walter. That's honestly about it. I don't have the best memory in the world, which is good for a bowler. But besides that, no, not really. I've been pretty lucky. Back home, before I came to Wichita State, I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and so I was really fortunate to be around E.J. Tackett a lot, and he really helped me and kind of understand, what I was looking for and what I needed to get better at. I remember my first junior gold, I missed the cut, and it was because I was awful at short patterns. And I remember going back to what was his home center, Oak Lanes, and he was just like, all right, we're going to figure this out. Sid's got to learn how to play the gutter. So I've been really fortunate to have just some really good role models in my life to help me along the way.
So Victoria Johansson taking care of the 2-8. Hansen plus 116. In fact, let's take a quick look at the continuing score and the scoring pace here of the B squad. So B squad after 3 games, and all of a sudden, Kelly Kulik is at plus 151 for 3 games. Our leader is at plus 166. Just to give you that idea, of course, Andra Anderson is 5th at plus 137. Shannon O'Keefe is 6th. These are all B squad players. O'Keefe is going 189, 277, 268 to get to plus 134. Dasha Kovalova is 10th at plus 119. Diana Zavyalova and Deandra Asbady tied at plus 118. And the aforementioned Victoria Johansson at plus 116. Giselle Poss at plus 115 in 15th place. And in 16th right now, Kaiser Wegner from Sweden at plus 112. So yes, the scoring pace a little friendly here this afternoon. For you, and you've bowled the Queens before, so you've had the opportunity to bowl obviously fresh burn. But from a personal perspective, do you have a preference? Okay, you generally tend to be better on fresh. Do you like the burn? What's that situation for you?
I love the burn. Yeah, my brain just likes to see a lot of shape.
Okay.
And so for me, anytime that I can bowl in the burn, and I'm, the typical child who loves to just watch my ball hook the whole lane. So I'm really excited for tomorrow. The fresh, I have to see my ball in front of me, and I have to have, a straighter shape through the front. And I don't think that's a lot of fun. But if I can make my way through that time to the burn, keep it in play, then that's all I can do. And wait for tomorrow.
Well, it's coming.
I'm excited.
We guarantee you 5 more games, or 10 more.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
Just got some updates that Kaiser Wegner just shot 279, and so she is now plus 192. She was just 16th, again at plus 112. Well, all right.
Yeah, it looks like Shannon O'Keefe's going to have a big game out there, too. She struck in the first frame, open in the second. Looks like she's got the next 7. Yeah. Going under her 10th frame.
Wow, so again, 277, 268. It won't be an official 800 per se, but hey, we had Shannon on earlier, and she said she was going to the truck, and she was either she was going to drill balls or she had already drilled the balls and just had to work them out and get them ready to go, specifically for this squad, and that seems to be certainly working out in her favor.
I know, maybe I need to go sneak a peek.
So some impressive bowling so far, what we've seen here. 2018 USBC Queens. Emil Williams Jr. with Sydney Brummett. To a rookie. So you just graduated last week, correct?
Yeah, last Saturday.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was that like? What was the graduation like as O'Keefe drops first one in the 10th?
Graduation was good. You know, it's one of those things that I really did not want to do. I wanted to be bowling in Fountain Valley. Anybody who follows me on social media knows that I was itching to be bowling last week, especially when I saw the pattern. It's kind of just a thing I like to do. So, man, I wish I could have been there. But at the same time, I thank my mom for encouraging me to graduate, because I think it's one of the things in 10 years I would have regretted not doing. So I'm very thankful that her and my sister very much pushed me to go and walk
graduation. Did they give you like a physical, just gonna.
You know, they're 13 hours away, so that's not a thing. But they called often with encouragement.
Nicely done. Well put. Your mom's listening and watching.
Oh, of course. Of course she is. I don't think she misses a minute of extra frame when it's on.
I honestly don't think so either, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
We certainly appreciate that. There's been a lot of talk, and obviously May and late April, May is the graduation season, especially in college, and but it is a very special thing, and you're right. It's something maybe again a decade from now you look back and say that'd have been great to have done. And then, but from our parents' perspective, that's what they spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice. And so, in many ways, they get the opportunity just to kind of have that moment and to see you walk across the stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I bowled a lot of youth stops growing up in Michigan and Ohio and the MJMA and the JTBA Tour, and all of that was in preparation for college bowling. And so when I chose Wichita State, I was just in awe that I got to go to that university, and I'm just so thankful to have had an amazing 4 years in their bowling program. And to be honest, when I went to Wichita State, I knew that they had good academics, but I was not fully aware. And now that I work for the Office of Admissions and I get to see, our stats against other schools, I'm amazed at really the education that I got, which made me even more thankful to attend that graduation and to be with my professors that played a really big role in what is my academic life.
What was your degree?
Health sciences with an emphasis in quality and healthcare.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're finishing up game number 4, game 4 of 5. Right now, 49 and 50. Katie Zwiefelhofer. Spare will give her 224. Nice game for Katie. She had a very good Queens last year as well, so be on the lookout for Katie this year as well. Nicole DePaul Miller trying to get back on the other side of plus. She'll have a chance. She is on a 4-bagger. And Jasmine Snell, a couple hiccups late in the game, but a lot of experience, especially bowling collegiately. She went to Nebraska.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to bowl with Jasmine last year in the Women's Open Championships. That was really cool. I bowled with a lot of Huskers. Don't know how I feel
How'd
about
that go
that.
for you? I was going to say.
Oh, no, it was actually really good. It was the first time I had bowled the Open Championships, and they welcomed me with open arms, so it was great.
If I've been there for DePaul Miller. You've had a lot of cool, I imagine, like key experiences, kind of first-time experiences within the last few years, I'd imagine, right?
Oh,
especially bowling. What's been a highlight kind of in the regards of, this is the first time I've done this?
I don't know. That's a really good question because for the past 4 weeks, it's all new. So, you know, the second stop was my first cash as a professional. So for me, that was a really big deal. It's like, okay, you know, I can do this. And the cashers round block with the 8 games on Saturday morning, made a lot of really great shots. Just couldn't get my ball to go through the pins the right way. Talked to my ball reps afterwards about just what I could have done differently. And they told me basically nothing. There's just some tweaks I needed to make in my physical game to be able to help my ball go through the pins better. And I went home and almost the week and a half off that I had with not bowling Fountain Valley was a blessing in disguise because I got to really work on those things. And today I had 2 shots that really came into play, and I just tend to turn a little early, so my ball doesn't store enough energy to go through the pins the right way. So I'll flat 10 or leave a swisher 7 where some people will carry them. So, and that's all the difference out here. Everybody throws it great, and so if you can, you know, really just make great shots and get lined up, and then have your ball go through the pins the right way, it's going to be a good week.
We're famous.
Ooh.
We got our photo taken. 51 and 52. Dena Flack to finish things out. Dena and Victoria both from Sweden. Good question for you, Sid. We talk a lot about the international presence on tour, and you've obviously bowled a lot of international competitions from Junior Team USA, and now, of course, with the adult team as well. I mean, do you get surprised or not necessarily shocked, but you still kind of be like, man, this country or this country is just like really good, and I don't get to see them that often, for example. So do you get to, or are you impressed with certain players or certain countries that you see on a regular basis kind of now in that sense?
Yeah, so at Wichita State, we had a really big international presence my first few years. Dasha Kovalova, she was up there from the Ukraine, and then we had Laura Plazas and Christy Lopez from South America. And to me, I love the Swedes. They are my favorite. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I bowled with Jenny the first week.
Okay.
And that was just a really cool experience. I had never bowled with any of the Swedes before, and so I was just kind of learning and just kind of observing, how they see the lane. It's so interesting, we all see it differently, how we're taught, and just our different cultures, and it's so cool just to learn about them, and even off the lanes. It's
Right.
cool to learn about their cultures from back home. And a lot of the times it shows in their jerseys, which I think is cool. Like, just how we live life differently.
What was one of those, if you could share, like one item from your time crossing with Jenny last week or 2 weeks ago that either you didn't know or surprised about, or that was unique, maybe perhaps to how she sees the lane?
Yeah, so she sees ball shapes just a lot better than I do,
Okay.
in all honesty. And so for me, I spent a lot of time just kind of eavesdropping on her. We have the same ball rep, so
Okay.
she recently switched to the same company, and so I would spend a lot of time just kind of eavesdropping, trying to figure out, wait, how does she see that? Because that week I struggled seeing the shape, and so I would just kind of listen, and then eventually I figured it out. And the way she just sees shapes through the lane, she sees the mid lane just a lot better than a lot of people do. And she bowled well today, I believe, as too. So I imagine that it was the same case.
Joined by Sydney Brummett, tour rookie here on the PWBA Tour. Emil Williams Jr., Jason Thomas, Jason McEwen, Aaron Smith here in the building as well. Thanks to Neil Milligan, Kathy Watka, part of our tournament staff. Shout out to Kathy Kavicki as well. Sid, to this point, there's a lot of newness we talked about, but is there a most interesting part of kind of being on tour that maybe you just didn't know about prior to having or being him and the opportunity to travel kind of on a weekly basis.
Yeah, so we kind of made a joke. I went home last week and worked with Coach Mark Lewis.
Okay.
And we kind of made a joke that I'm in this new traveling league. And that's exactly what it is. Like, it's a lot of the same people every week, a lot of the same members. And I did not know how friendly everyone was. Like, I had no idea how much of a family everybody is. Like, the second week, people needed rides to the airport, or they needed food, or they needed grips off the truck, or whatever they needed. Somebody was always just like, oh yeah, I'll help you. And I just sat there in amazement, because I was not prepared for that whatsoever. I was prepared to, see small groups of friends and go from there, because that's kind of what we see on social media.
Sure.
But social media doesn't always tell the whole truth.
Right.
And to be honest, this whole tour is like a family. It's really cool to see.
What were you expecting, or did you have any expectations?
Not really.
You expecting like no, I don't help you.
When you see all of these women, they're very competitive.
Right.
And so I kind of expected it to be a little bit cutthroat and a little bit in your face, and yes, it is while we bowl.
Sure.
But the minute the lanes turn off, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, we're cool, we're friends, and it's really nice. I like it a lot.
Well, good. We're happy that you found a new home, or a second home here on tour. The only caveat for me personally is this: if your mom comes out, and Mrs. B, I know you're listening and watching, you just got to bring something. It didn't, there's not to be a lot. Just one item, homemade, because that's what she does. And, like, you're not in college anymore, so, like, now when we go to collegiate events, you won't be there, which means she won't be there. Exactly. Yes. And so I'll need to just kind of keep that in my routine, except for it'll be in the summer now, not the fall.
Right. She is coming to 3 of the stops.
Okay.
So far, that's what I know. I believe she's coming to Connecticut and Pennsylvania and Louisville.
Good.
So I'm pretty stoked for her to come to those.
Say that L word one more time.
Louisville?
Nice.
From Indiana.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I know you know. That was one of the first things. A friend of mine who was from Louisville, former collegiate teammate of mine, and for a while it was like Louisville, right? And, and the first thing he said, "You're pronouncing it wrong," and I immediately felt bad because I took it as like, obviously, it's a sign of like wasn't trying to disrespect obviously a city, but people pronounce my name wrong all the time, and so I felt his pain immediately, and so I was like, okay, let's not do that anymore. And he was like, it's Louisville.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that, and I've said it that way for a decade.
Yeah, no, I grew up bowling an event called Indiana Kentucky All-Stars.
Right.
And
very popular event, serious event, I understand.
Oh yeah, so in Indiana you have to make the top 16 youth on the women's and the guys side, and you make the top 16, and then you bowl Indiana All-Stars, which is versus the top 16 of Kentucky, and that was a big deal.
Right.
We brought home the trophy I think 8 times when I bowled. It was yeah, it was a good one.
Ooh.
But you make a lot of really good friendships, and
right.
I learned very quickly that it's Louisville. Don't say it the wrong way.
Right now, watching our defending champion here at the USBC Queens and a 2-time winner of the event. You just saw Diana Zavyalova. She is joined by Shelby Nevis, Brooke Bauer, and Samantha Shaden on 53 and 54. There is Shelby, minus 23. And crossing over there on 51 and 52, we've got Jackie Carbonetto, Rebecca Brarman, Anna Anderson, and Pamela Alvarez, who has had a pretty solid start to her tour career as well. And then over on 49 and 50, we'll be joined by Kelly McCutcheon, Erin McCarthy, Dena Buxton, and Julia Bond.
Yeah, it's really cool. This week, a lot of the girls from NCAA schools have now joined in.
Yep.
And it's really exciting for me because I didn't get to bowl with them a whole lot. We don't see each other, which shall we see McKendree at the ITCs, but that's about it. So for me, I'm really excited to get to know these girls better, and I've heard a lot about them on social media. I grew up bowling with the Richard sisters, so I'm excited to get back to being around them more and really getting to know them better and bowl with them and compete with them.
I'm very curious now that you're removed, slightly, but from the competing portion in college bowling, where we know that Wichita State's obviously always a top program, and McKendree and other programs as well. But like as you just mentioned, there's a lot of teams that you didn't see and you don't get a chance to compete against, or you didn't get a chance to compete against as well. Like, well, at some point did you say, man, it'd be nice if we could just, there was one tournament where we could bowl with these respective schools and just kind of, not that you need to compare anything, but just kind of see where everyone, kind of stacks up against each other.
Yeah, it's nice. You always hear about the NCAA
Correct.
and USBC rivalry.
Right.
You
I know
always
that's
hear
the thing.
about it.
Like
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's out there every now and then, but.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I wish that we could. It would be great to see everybody out there just competing against one another. But, it is what it is, and I think that rivalry will always be there, and we'll always wonder who really is the number one seed in the country right now. I think we'll always wonder it. We don't compete on anywhere near the same patterns, so you can't even look at averages. When it comes to All-Americans and things like that, there's usually a lot of comparisons, like, why did this person make it? Well,
sure.
We don't bowl anywhere near the same things, so it would be really interesting. I only bowled on one NCAA pattern in my whole college career, and I think it was an all-Big Earth tournament, so I don't even know what it would have been like, to be honest. And it would be very interesting to see and find out.
Well, I'm interested in I think everyone else is at this point where, at the moment we know we've got obviously yourself who have joined in the sense and are eligible at this point for this year's Rookie of the Year award. Yourself, you mentioned the Richard sisters, Jordan and Haley, Sarah Willie from McKendree, Jessica Malott from McKendree, Stephanie Schwartz from Stephen F. Austin. I mean, Laura Plazas is out here as well, also to a rookie. We've got actually some and some older rookies as well too. Jen King is a rookie this year. Casey Landers is a rookie. I mean, to me, and we've had some very great rookie classes and some rookie races the last 2 years, but this might be the best potentially because of where everyone kind of came from, almost the majority at the same time, graduating at the same time, in that sense to where, like, it's weird, like, if you thought about it in the other professional sense where, you could easily have a draft, right, and like, okay, who's going to be the number one pick out of all the players that I just named, and, it makes me so excited for not only the rest of the season, and obviously you as well, but, for the tour in general, that that aspect of youth is on tour now.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. Just to kind of be a part of. It's awesome. I hear a lot of the vets on tour saying, "Oh, this rookie class is a good one," and we all went into college at the same time, and it was weird, like, because we were in different schools and I didn't get to see them, and now we're all out on tour together, and I'm just excited to see what happens. I'm a competitor, and I wanna get out there, see if I can keep up.
Right now on 49 and 50, this is Dena Buxton. Dena at plus 77 from Australia. We mentioned some high scores, and for example, Kaiser Wegner shooting 279 in Game 4. Let's check to see if our update is in yet. It is not, so when we have that, we'll certainly let you know. By the way, folks, again, you're listening to Sydney Brummett. If you have a question for Sid, drop it in the Live Now post on PWA Facebook page, and give the tour rook a hard one, maybe. Nice shot there from Aaron McCarthy. Let me ask you this question, Sid, and just as a competitor, from what you've seen, and you've seen many of these players prior to, because you've either both obviously collegiately, competed internationally, and have bowled some PWA events like the Queens, for example, in the past. But is there anyone or multiple players that can always you say, I just got to stop and watch that player, or stop and watch that person, or I've learned this from watching this player?
I think physically, I love to watch Verity. I want to have an arm swing as loose as Verdi. That's the goal. So I always stop and just kind of watch her. Her physical game is amazing to me. But from a mental standpoint, I like to stop and watch Liz. Liz Johnson. She's the best on tour, as most people would say, and I would agree. Proof is in the pudding, as I would say. So for me, Liz doesn't have the rev rate, or she just gets out and bowls every week. And so for me, I like to just watch her and see how she's handling, whether it's the adversity is coming her way or she's bowling really well, and how does she stay present in those moments. So any chance that I can get to watch Liz and see how she's handling situations is great for me, because in Sonoma, she almost missed the top 12 cut. And so she was bowling on the pair to the right of me, and I was out of it by a ways, so I took that time to really observe her and see how she was handling that moment where most people would press. She didn't press. She just bowled. And she said, after she got done, she said, well, it wasn't pretty, but I got it done. And to me, it was just really, really cool to watch in those moments.
Liz is never a bad option to watch.
No, she's great.
From everything that, especially in the last few years, I mean, we just haven't had a player like that within the first few years. I mean, and people obviously have gotten close. There have been players who have challenged for, player of the year and have had some really great seasons. And then Liz kind of went and did what she did last year, and it was just like unbelievable. I'm always aware because I understand what tour I work on. And so, we don't just go throw around ages on the women's tour. But because of Liz's age, that's the caveat, is she's doing what she's doing at, she just turned 44. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's awesome to watch, I grew up watching Liz on TV before the tour folded, really. And to me, it was just like, oh, okay, like, she's awesome. And I didn't really understand. And then what had happened is I gave myself so many tournaments to go and bowl. And I told my parents, if I do well at these few tournaments, then I'm going to go out full time that first season. And I did well enough to come out and bowl full time, and I'm very grateful for my parents' support in that. And for me, there was a lot of time. I was actually just telling one of my friends last night. He asked me, what did you do to prepare to come out here? And I said, I spent a lot of time listening. So when I was going to team trials, or when I was coming out on tour, just to kind of get my feet in the water, per se, I spent a lot of time of the practice sessions not practicing. I spent a lot of my time following around those players that I thought were influential on tour and bowled well, and I would just kind of listen. What are they doing right now? What are they looking for? What are they talking to their ball reps about? What's important? And it was really interesting to just kind of learn from them. I took lots of notes, and it's really helped me kind of have a head start when I come out here on tour.
It's good info, good knowledge, and good foresight, and good, being proactive on your part to want to be as prepared as possible.
Yeah. I always told my coaches at Wichita State that I didn't want success to be an accident. So for me, I didn't want to come out here and just kind of be like, okay, it's time to bowl.
Right.
I wanted to come out here and compete from week one. And I wanted to give myself a chance. I think I throw it well enough, and I think I have enough knowledge to win out here. And I just wanted to get ahead of the game because I knew there was a learning curve coming from college to the tour. So I knew I had to learn a little bit, but as far ahead as I could get before getting out here, I would have done anything to have even more information than I already had.
Competitive shot we just saw from Erin McCarthy, although she had that sense that she didn't like five-bagger nonetheless after the early open, and now we'll see Julia Bond. And of course, a teammate of yours.
Yes.
on Team USA.
She's phenomenal. She threw that one great. Julia's one of those girls who just always throws it good. She gets lined up, strikes a bunch. I'm happy to call her my teammate.
I would say if you think about just like where Team USA is currently, there's like yourself, Julia Bond, for example, in the youth department, if
Yeah.
you will.
Jordan Richards in there
And
too.
Jordan Richard,
Yeah.
right? And then you also, obviously, from the most tenured would be like Shannon Pluhowski, who's on 18 consecutive seasons, and Shannon O'Keefe, Shannon Pluhowski, Kelly Kulick, Stephanie Johnson, and Kelly Kulick, and just that. Not that there's an obvious gap, but like you get a chance, and you guys get a chance to then learn, from them, and in a way, as you mentioned earlier. Well, you might have mentioned that yesterday. I might have just gave some of our PWA profile video away. but we can
Preview,
share
sneak
that
peek.
brief story, right? I mean, you talked about just being in your first camp, and then you were able to learn some things from some of obviously the older players in that situation. But what was that like for you, that learning process?
Yeah, so last year was a really interesting experience. So there were 4 new girls, I think, on the team last year. It was our rookie season on adult team, and it ended up being that the other 3 girls had school commitments. They both were NCAA schools, had to be there just because their class time. And so I kind of was in this really fortunate position to be the only rookie at camp. And that was the coolest experience, to be in a room with the most experienced and best players on the planet, in my opinion, and just to sit and learn and really get to know them better and learn how they tick, and learn what makes them play good and what makes us play good as a team when it comes to the U.S. I spent a lot of time talking to Coach Rod about that. What's my job out here? How do I help my teammates? So for me, it was just really cool. Steph taught me how to have a lot of fun, so that's good. She taught me how to joke around, even when things are going well, when things are going bad. And Shannon O'Keefe, she's awesome. And I just didn't know any of the women very well, and now I know them really, really well. And I'm excited to get back to camp already. We have camp first week in July, and I'm itching. I'm ready to be back. I love the ITRC. I love everything about bowling for our country. I love that this week we get to wear our Team USA jerseys for this event, and that means a lot to me. It's very cool to wear red, white, and blue. It's the only time really in our sport is this event, and when we get to bowl internationally. So I love that.
Joined by Sydney Brummett, recent graduate of Wichita State. Now a PWBA Tour rookie, and so far out enjoying it. You were an All-American all 4 years of your collegiate career.
Yes.
And from what I understand, and National Collegiate Bowling Coaches Association, one of a select number, I believe 19 women, to be an All-American all 4 years. I know Wichita State, very helpful, obviously, in your development. What did the program and the school, overall, now that you've completed your time and you can kind of take a look back, and although you're still there in a sense, but you can kind of take a look back and say, wow, I mean, this was such an amazing opportunity. How was that program in the school? What does it mean to you?
Oh, that program, it means everything to me. Honestly, that program is just absolutely phenomenal. Coach L and Coach V, they are definitely some of my second dads that I have, and they were there with me through everything. So shout out to them if they're listening. Sometimes they do. They treat their players like family, and to them, it's about team play. That's all it is. Is how good can we make this team together in this moment right now? And I'm very thankful for that, because coming in, I didn't know what it meant to be a good teammate. And now I definitely do, and I bring some of that out on tour with me here too. I'm excited for some of my Wichita State teammates to get out here. Holly Ann and I had a really long conversation after our time at Wichita State ended, where we decided that we were going to play team out here. Yes, we're competing against each other, and if we were to make a show together, we believe that we'd treat each other the same. It's going to come down to, hey, I'm lined up, you're lined up. Let's see who can throw it the best for 10 frames. And, whether she wins or I win, similar to, I think, Daria and Verity
Sure.
on that show. It's very, very similar. We want the best for each other, and we just want to make sure that each other feels comfortable. So Wichita State is really everything. The most interesting stat for Wichita State, I think, is we have 70, I believe it's 74, it might be more, 74 people who have come to Wichita State and made Team USA. So for me, that stat was a really big deal because all I wanted to do was bowl for my country. My first junior gold was when I was 12, and I watched, Danielle McEwen and now Josie Barnes make Team USA for their first times. And for me, that just always kind of, it gives me butterflies, gives me, the itch to want to compete for my country. So when they said, if you come to Wichita State, you're probably going to have a better chance at, being prepared to make the national team, I was like, sign me up. Like, I'm ready. And I'm very blessed. I think that they really helped me be prepared and have the skill set to bowl my way onto Team USA.
Bond on 49. Another good shot. Julia inching closer to a game potentially in the 270s. You see Dena Buxton get ready to step on the approach as well. Reno, just her second strike over on 51. Here is Abyalova. DZ3 in that position, of course, automatically seeded into the match play bracket. No worse, automatically, again, no worse than 64. She's in the bracket, but obviously her 15-game qualifying total, we'll see her wherever that 15-game qualifying total seeds her. So whether it's first, whether it's 32nd, and if she happened to bowl so bad that she misses, or her qualifying total would be out of the top 64, she doesn't have to worry about that part. And so you're not there yet, but you haven't been in that position. But if you were Diana, how do you think you would approach, this the qualifying portion, knowing that you have a guaranteed spot essentially in match play?
Yeah, for me, if I was in Diana's position, I'm going to treat it pretty much exactly the same. I'm going to want to make good shots, and I'm going to see what's going to go on the lane. Obviously, her swing's going to be a little loose. She has nothing to worry about. She can just go out there, make shots, see what happens. If she splits, move on, try something else the next frame, hopefully get lined up. So, if I was Diana, I would really just take the time to figure out the lanes, almost what doesn't work.
Right.
And then be even more prepared for those matches. And these lanes, they change every day with every re-oil. So it'll be interesting to see how they change daily, and she'll want to be keeping up with those changes just like all of us are.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned that, and so use every opportunity during qualifying to see, as you just said, what doesn't work. Ball choices, ball selections, maybe a couple, kind of game plans, and from a lane play standpoint, obviously fresh burn, and then both squads will be on the fresh on Saturday, which is essentially moving day, and see who will make the bracket and who might just miss. Good shot there from DZ. But a pretty solid week last week in Fountain Valley. Actually was involved in a tie for the last spot in the round of 12 with Liz Johnson, and Liz ultimately beat her in the one-game roll-off. But she's in good spirits. She loves this event. And of course, when you win it twice,
I don't see how you couldn't.
That's a very good reason. McCarthy. A good shot for Aaron. Some uncharacteristic, probably miscues for her in this particular game, but still with a chance to add to her total here in Game 5, our final game here. Well, I told you it would go by kind of quick.
You did. You warned me.
49 and 50 in the 9th frame. Actually, in the 10th frame now.
Speedy.
Oh, it's Kelly McCutcheon. Well, there's a lot of strikes being thrown on 49.
That's true. I got Aaron
50.
and Julia with quite a few strings.
We'll take a look at our scores as we head to the finish line here of day 1 of qualifying at the Queens. Shannon O'Keefe has made her way into the lead at plus 196. Again, she went 77, or I should say 277, 268, 262, games 2, 3, and 4 after starting with 189. Kaiser Wagner plus 191. She is in second. Deandra Asbeatty, former Queens champion as well, plus 186 in third. Dasha Kovalova is in fourth at plus 178. Kelly Kulik, or I should say, excuse me, in fifth. The A squad leader, plus 166, Cassandra Luto. Kelly Kulik is sixth at plus 164. Giselle Poss, seventh at plus 163. And this morning, Azarette Zetter, who was second on the squad, eighth at plus 162. And Diana Zavyalova, who looks like she probably won't be nearing the 64th area in the standings, is in ninth at plus 155. And in 10th from A squad is Jenny Wagner from Sweden at plus 152. We'll scroll down to 64th at the moment, and that would be plus 37. Give you an idea what that number is. That's certainly going to change. It's only based on what we've seen today, it's going to go up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
By a lot. And it'll be interesting to see where we are after, really after, I'll say day 2, and to see what's happening and what we're looking into for Saturday.
Oh yeah, it's really, the fresh is really different than the burn from what I've seen. So it'll be interesting to see those who bowled well today on the burn, what happens to them tomorrow, and those who, have the shape that they like to see, and that's what happened on the fresh today, and they like that shape, what happens to them on the burn. All of our matches also occur on fresh and burn. So it's you got to figure out both, even though they're going to be a little different during the matches. So it'll be really interesting to see. Tomorrow, to me, is a really interesting day.
What are you doing tonight? What's on the Sid Brummett to-do list for the rest of the evening?
Yeah, I'm fortunate to be on Storm staff, and we have a nice team dinner tonight. Very excited about that. I have no idea where it is, though. You gotta figure that part out. I should probably ask Bree. That's
Do you
one
know
of those
the time?
mom questions.
Yeah, that's a good plan. Do you know the time?
No. I think I got an email about it. I have a text about it.
Okay.
It's at 7.
Okay. Well, there we go.
It's
All
7.
right. All right. So nice team dinner.
Yeah, nice team dinner. Probably just go to bed, hang out with Bree. We have 2 other roommates with us this week as well. So I'm excited. I just get to know them better a little bit every day. So hang out with them, and I don't know. I'm staying at Circus, and I really want to play all those carnival games.
That is a popular place today.
I might go play the carnival games.
I have got to go to Circus. I must go today, man, because you mentioned it, Bree mentioned it, Shannon mentioned it this morning. And so that means for me, that's 3 yeses, basically. And if you get 3 yeses, then you've got to go check it out. So I'm going to try to do that this evening. First shot of the 10th for Julia Bond. 10-pin. 220 from Kelly McCutcheon. Erin McCarthy already with 1 in the 10th. And now a opportunity to add more. 3-bagger for McCarthy.
That pair was friendly earlier to me as well. Had a little bit more hold down lane on 49, which was nice. Didn't always want to make your ball go through the pins the right way, but if you missed, you had a little bit more room on the fresh, which was very nice. I would imagine that's why scores are kind on that lane as well.
Just got word from Aaron Smith, that player that you know very well. Dasha Kovalova has ended the day at plus 245. And at the moment could be in the lead.
Yeah. We were joking with her yesterday that she was just going to play 15 and throw whatever ball she wanted and strike a ton. Because that's just what Dasha does. And I would almost guarantee that that's what's going on right now.
I will say, it's so hard to spend media day working on a lot of videos and then to not reference a lot of this material when the opportunity kind of presents itself. But I will say that she spoke very highly of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I enjoyed Dash. She's great. Spent a lot of time with her. We actually, the first week, talk about first week. So we're going to Vegas and get to the airport. Had no idea that Dasha and Laura Plazas were on my flight. So we get there and we get on our plane.
From Wichita?
From Wichita, yeah.
Okay.
From Wichita. And we think that everything is fine. We've got a direct flight to Las Vegas. So we're chilling. We're super excited. Don't have to change planes. Gonna get there really early. Like 3 in the afternoon. Well, we get on our plane. The pilot comes over and he says, okay, so we have a mechanical issue. We're canceling your flight. Right. So they cancel our flight, and I'm a child, so I have no idea what to do. My mom isn't there, so I'm freaking out, right? None of my moms are there. Freaking out. Luckily, Laura Plazas texted Maria Jose Rodriguez, who then figured out that we could somehow cancel our flight or like get a voucher for our flight with Southwest and then get on a flight with another airline.
Okay.
We ended up in Vegas at like midnight, 8 hours later than we were supposed to, oh gosh.
Well, you got a voucher.
I got a voucher.
That's vouchers.
Vouchers are awesome.
Vouchers are gold.
Vouchers are great.
I mean, you got an extended trip, but
right. I didn't think I was gonna make it to Las Vegas. I'm gonna miss the practice session. I was upset.
What day was it? Wednesday?
We left. Yeah, we left on Wednesday, so it was okay.
Right.
But still, it was very stressful.
So kind of just fresh out the gate, there was some adversity.
So Dasha and I showed up to the airport this week, and we're like, well, hopefully, we get on our plane. We're gonna take off today.
Did you get an opportunity to kind of like learn maybe the options, like in case that happens again?
Oh yes, very quickly.
Okay.
Very quickly, I learned these options. I think we changed our flight in like 30 minutes. Because Southwest was going to have us drive to Oklahoma City, and the 3 of us could not be trusted in a car together to get to Oklahoma City safely.
This is great.
Laura's from Colombia, so we weren't going to let Laura drive, and Dasha's boyfriend needed her car, and my car's not big enough for all of us, so we decided that was not the best plan.
This is good. Maybe we should keep the camera on you 3 often this season.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Villalba finishes up 205. Shelby Nevis 177. Brooke Bauer 215. And now Samantha Shaden. Count will give her 96. Rebecca Browerman 247 to get to plus 42. We're on 51 and 52. Sid, have you ever done a sign-off on a broadcast before?
Well, no, because this is my first broadcast.
Good. Well, it's time. It's almost time. So what's going to happen is once Samantha is complete, we're going to then look at this camera.
Okay.
All right, here we go. All right, then that'll do it for day 1's coverage of the 2018 USBC Queens. Be sure to check bowl.com and pwba.com for all of your stats, info, rosters, pairings, and everything you'll need, of course, to follow us for the rest of the week. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Already been a ton of highlights today. And so all of those are being posted on the respective social media channels, USBC, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also PWBA, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. I want to thank all of our guests today, Shannon O'Keefe, Brianna Cote, and Sydney Brummett. Sid, how was your first broadcast experience?
It was good. Yeah, maybe you'll invite me back.
We will definitely invite you back, and be on the lookout for Sid the Kid. Again, tour rookie, but throws it great, and she's going to have a fantastic career. So we look forward to that. Also look forward to who's going to lead after day 1. We'll have all of those details for you on the aforementioned channels that we talked about, and of course on bowl.com and pwba.com. So for Sydney Brummett, Jason Thomas, Jason McEwen, and Aaron Smith, I'm Emil Williams Jr. We will see you tomorrow. Competition begins at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. B Squad is on the lanes, right?
Yes.
Which squad are you in?
A. So yes,
So
B Squad is first.
B Squad is on the lanes tomorrow morning. Again, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Until then, we will see you. This has been a presentation of the USBC Queens on Bowl TV on Extra Frame. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.